Welcome to
49?
Born in the 80s, episode 490.
Oh, fuck off. One more and you'll be right.
Misunderestimate, to borrow a word from the best president.
Pro tip.
Pro tip, witches burn at the stake.
I imagine having a crazy clown voice.
The world is becoming a Pornhub comment section.
Can we talk
Pretty
about
cool.
Can we talk about something terrible?
The landlord has to provide at least one smudge stick in a way.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 489. I am your host, John_Danger, joined by my co-hosts.
Matt Hag.
TJ flapping in the wind, May.
Spanky_danger.
Spanky and Janger. You have to mispronounce it like I do.
Janger?
I didn't do it today, though. John Janger.
Someone has to mispronounce it.
It's important to take a big sip right after you start a podcast.
yeah, okay.
There's a lot of dead air.
They teach you this at radio school.
Yeah.
Which we all
I
like.
did go to radio school for a bit. They did
I
not
own a
teach you that.
radio.
They actually specifically told you that you're not allowed to have more than like X, I can't remember the number, consecutive seconds of dead air because it's an FE or what is the stupid
FCC?
FCC violation.
Fuck.
The,
And it's also an FCC violation to swear outside of safe harbor hours. It's actually really interesting because they went into this a lot about, and I'm sure I talked about this on the podcast back when I was actually doing radio, but they talked about specifically, yeah, you're technically allowed to swear because its artistic expression is protected by the First Amendment, but like they can still sue you, and you know you still have to pay for lawyers to prove that in court. So don't, because if some person wants to try and make a point out of what you're doing, so. Yeah, so it kind of sucks that you can't swear, but, you know, whatever. After safe harbor hours is the, like, non-legal, like, no one, it's, like, known as okay to swear. Mm-hmm. Remember when Comedy Central would play movies at midnight, and they would have all the swears and stuff in them still?
Yeah.
I fucking kicked ass.
South Park movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Yeah, I got, like, half-baked,
uncensored,
taped off of TV on there. Yeah. I've been going through my VHS collection of stuff that was taped off TV, and I have some gems, some like fucking. I'll have to verify, but I'm almost certain that I have the very first episode of Invader Zim as it aired, recorded, with original commercials. So that's kind of fun.
Nice.
On Cartoon Network, yeah. I was watching. I was like, because they were like, "Stay tuned for Invader Zim," and I was like, and it was the first episode. I was like, this must have been when it first aired. In like the early 2000s when I was still recording shit off the TV. So yeah, that's fun. And a bunch of episodes of Jackass with all the original commercials and music. Because if you buy the DVDs, they cut all the music out. Because of course they did.
That's why it sucks to watch Daria lit.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to watch Daria via the versions that I have, which are from archive.org before they got pulled. Because that was the original way that they aired, and they don't want to let you listen to that anymore. Cause
Isn't that also true for Beavis and Butthead, a show that has entire explicit segments about the music videos because they were explicitly on MTV watching the music videos?
Yeah, so they had MTV had the rights to air the music videos, and they were cool with the commentary in them. A lot of that has been re-released because they've worked with bands to get the licensing rights to do that, because it's like just a specific, you know, song from a specific band, so it's much easier to get the rights for that, but still it's kind of stupid. Fucking rights, man. People suck ass. And where's that money going? Not to the artist, that's going to the fucking BMI EMI, the records, like, executives and bullshit.
Body mass index.
What does EMI stand for?
That money goes to regenerate Clone Tupac. We're so close.
Evil music industry.
At Electronic Media Interactive.
Oh, it's the dumbest fucking shit ever. Electric and Musical Industries.
I got the E, M, and I right.
I know. That's great.
And Matt got the E, so between us, we made one correct one and one extremely wrong one.
So that was originally Columbia Gramophone Company.
Nice.
There's also...
So that would have been Columbia Records as well, I assume.
Correct, but it was bought by Sony. I guess they're a part of Sony now. I think. Yeah.
Is Columbia the one that had his master's voice with the cute little dog sticking his head in?
RCA.
Oh man, I am fucking
RCA.
old. EMI doesn't exist
Columbia,
anymore.
I think, was the one where you would get like 100 CDs in the mail for a penny.
That's
what is it now?
right. What is what now?
What? EMI was bought by Sony,
Okay.
so it's now part of Sony. That's why it's always interesting to like think of like songs like or like the movie Barbie and like the music they use in it. And it's like I bet all those are Warner Brothers artists because it's
Yeah.
a Warner Brothers movie. Anyway. Speaking of Barbie, I saw the other half of Barbenheimer this morning.
Nice.
You saw Oppenheimer?
Yep, Slop on My Heiner, the porno
nice.
version.
I have mixed feelings about that movie. Not because I think that it's bad, but because, one, I don't like Christopher Nolan as a person, even though he's a pretty good filmmaker. But the main reason is that I feel like this movie has a lot of that guys are going to like this for the wrong reasons the same way they did to Fight Club movie.
Absolutely not.
No, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You misunderestimate, to borrow a word from the best president, George W.
Thank
Bush.
you. Thank
This
you.
underestimates.
The sheer lack of understanding men can have about a movie, because Fight Club is all about how
I
everything Tyler
understand
Durden
where you're
does it.
coming from, but I think a 3-hour biopic that is probably 3/4 courtroom drama is not where they're going to get that from.
I mean, maybe, but like what I'm saying is,
I'm telling you, it could have been made that way, but it was not.
guys are gonna watch this and go, "Oh man, that guy, he's such a mastermind. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm like in
Absolutely
real
not.
life." FR.
No, absolutely
He's just
not.
like me,
There's
FR.
not, like,
He's like
already
fucking
1,000 pieces of
crying all
entertainment
the
doing
time. He cries multiple. It is not that way in any way.
All right. I mean, I just at this point, I'm just expecting every movie
He's
to be.
Robert
perceived
J.
that way.
Oppenheimer had that Sigma grind set mindset.
Yes,
you know what
I
I'm
literally.
saying?
You say this as if it's a joke, but I do literally expect this
It's
from
not
every
though,
piece of media.
because like if you look at, if you know the history of Oppenheimer and stuff, the movie is really about the fact that once he helped create the atom bomb, he basically spent his entire life trying to tell the government to stop making bombs and that we should never do any of this again. And then he was called a communist because he dated a communist back when he was like a professor, and his wife
Look, we
used
all
to be in the
dated
communist.
communists in college.
Exactly. I mean, it's part of being in college.
I didn't, but I'm asexual and am a communist, so I feel
Well,
like it
maybe
worked
you were
itself
the
out.
person who would have been dated. Maybe someone thought they
Yeah.
were dating you, and you were the
Someone
communist.
out there is lacking their college communist dating experience
because
I am
you're
asexual.
asexual. Yeah, that's you asexuals think you take that away from us.
It's true. We have the most privilege.
Anyway, so no, but the movie's great. It's amazing. It's an awesome. It's 3 hours long. Seeing it in IMAX is very good.
What did you?
Because
what
it's
did
very
you
loud.
think of the explosion?
It's big. It's loud.
Does it look like a nuclear explosion? Because it's just like a whole bunch of hay was made about how it's the biggest gasoline explosion ever. Which
It
would
doesn't
not
look like a
much-
nuclear explosion. There's a couple points where they have like cuts to like, well, it does look like a nuclear explosion in the fact that they quite literally show just a big flash, for a while. I mean, there's a lot of the stuff that are, but like the mushroom cloud, they don't really, honestly, in that movie, you don't see much explosion. There's the one scene where they do it and they cut, and it's mostly just people reacting to it. And it's all people looking at it and like having their faces lit up and reflections on glasses.
Because that was
and
like
stuff.
the first thing I knew about this movie.
Yeah, there was the meme, of
Everybody
course,
talking about the explosion.
saying it was only going to use practical effects. Like, so they give him a nuke or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
The answer is no. It's really interesting. It actually doesn't really go too much into politics, other than the fact that Truman is a complete dickwad in it, which I liked. And just like
Missouri native right there.
calls Oppenheimer a crybaby because he
You
was
get
like
that
sad
weedy
about
son of a
people
bitch
dying.
out of here. I dropped that bomb. I did that.
Yes. Oh, so you've seen this. You know
He's
the
the
exact
he's the
scene.
one that the Sigma people are going to be upset.
Exactly. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, get that Truman mindset, grind set, baby.
He is a Democrat.
Rise and
though.
grind. Yeah, he's the Dixiecrat Democrat type.
Yeah.
I do love though that they have the fucking end of the movie has the fucking JFK rises to fuck over a guy who sucks, and it's like, oh, that's where we're going next with politics. So No, it's really good. I mean, it's just a very comprehensive biopic that is incredible score. Like the score is amazing in it, as you would expect from a Christopher Nolan film. They didn't use, who's the guy who's always doing his films? Hans Zimmer? Not Zimmer. It's somebody new who did a really good job.
Hans Zimmer doesn't do like 90% of his own work anyway. He steals it from his students.
Fair enough. I mean, that's everyone. That's the Oppenheimer took credit for what everybody else did anyway as well. So, but it's really it's such a great movie because it's such, you know, an important thing. And when you think about it, it's probably one of the most important thing that's ever happened. And you have just the typical story of like how the knives come out afterwards, you know, and then, you know, Oppenheimer gets put in a situation, and then you realize who his friends are when they all testify, whether or not they think he's a sympathizer or deserves to have a security clearance anymore. And they're all like, well, I don't know, you know, you said some stuff and you said maybe we shouldn't blow up people. So I don't know, because that's the McCarthyism era.
The U.S. military didn't like that.
Yeah, but I mean, and I think, you know, people could debate for hours about the bombing. I think he was in support of, and they showed a little bit in the movie of the scientists who wanted to just drop a bomb near Japan and show them like, hey, we can fucking do this. So you should. So that, I mean, you talk to a lot of people at the Potsdam conference, and Japan probably would have surrendered because Russia had declared war on them just a few weeks before we dropped the bomb. So that was already kind of bad for Japan fighting.
The thing
on two
about
fronts.
Truman, though, is that he's a big piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And the Missouri way is to be like, could I kill a bunch of civilians with this new device? Yeah, I want to do that. And then it was so fun.
They were already firebombing.
That is 100% the thing that I think people don't realize, that don't know too much.
I just learned that like a couple days ago.
Is that like the Tokyo
this is true.
firebombings killed as many, if not almost as many, as the 2 nuclear bombs did.
That's true, but like what I'm saying is the Missouri mindset Truman had was, I've got a new way to kill lots of civilians all at once in like
this
1
way's
second.
like way faster.
Yeah,
Well,
so
that's-
it's like
that's-
yes, the damage overall was the same, but the DPS was way higher.
Well, so that's the argument that they make in the movie, actually, is some of the discussion was, well, yes, the firebombings are effective and a great deterrent and are horrible, but to show them that we could do the equivalent of that with one plane sneaking in, dropping one bomb, and then it's like drop a second one and be like, we could just keep doing this. You're going to have to quit, you know, and it just sucks. Ooh, another interesting fact I learned as well from someone is that so in preparation for the attack on Japan, they started minting Purple Heart medallions for soldiers, and there are still 145,000 left, and they're still using them from that. And they've used over 100,000 in the wars since. So they were prepared for probably 250,000 U.S. soldiers to be seriously injured in that. And it was like, it's crazy the invasion of Japan would have been. So, I mean, I'm not going to say who was right, was wrong. Probably bad to nuke people.
No, you should say it right here.
But it's a situation that's very difficult. Oh, Truman
I
sucked.
am happy
Truman made the
saying
wrong
Truman-
decision.
I'm happy saying Truman's a fucked up piece of shit. So whatever his decision was the wrong one.
I certainly would have agreed that they should have dropped the bomb on a purely military
I prefer
target
the
as a
Harry
demonstration.
Truman from Twin.
But they chose not to. They chose to go straight for bombing. But the thing is that Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they would have firebombed those anyway and probably killed 30,000 civilians anyway, because the U.S. and our allies were very good at firebombing Germany, firebombing Tokyo. We were just,
I think,
killing civilians left and right at the end of the war.
but also we did irradiate entire bits of land that people lived on with a nuclear warhead. Like, yes, people died, but we found a new way to fuck up the planet and immediately threw it at civilians.
It's not
and
irradiated
people
anymore. The
also-
half-life's pretty quick on the airburst bombs
People
that they use.
also
But
probably died a lot more horrifically. Like burning to death is not a great way, but like
at least vaporizing is
the
fast.
like salts in
Well,
their
no, but
bodies
like, isn't it
converted
like
to
the
radioactive
epicenter
salts and
was
shit.
only about like half a mile wide,
Yeah.
and then everyone else from that died of like radiation sickness as their skin sloughed off of
Yeah,
them?
you know.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
That's really fucked
I feel like trying to judge that versus burning alive, they both suck. Let's not do that to anyone.
Well,
Let's
burning
do
alive,
neither.
what you really want to do is if you're gonna burn alive, just inhale really quickly if
Yeah.
you pass out from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
smoke.
Good idea.
Then you're good.
Do all the smoke inhalation.
That's a
right
tip
away.
for all you witches out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Pro tip.
Pro tip: witches burn at the stake. Born in the 80s.
Speaking of
Was
nuclear warheads, though, I feel like there was recently a like Godzilla featured in Call of Duty crossover thing that happened, which is really fucked up considering that like the entire point of Godzilla is that it's an anti-American military complex ideal specifically about the nuclear bomb, and like now Godzilla is like, hey, what if he was fighting on the side of the US?
I mean, Japan
With the
fights on the side
military.
of the U.S. now, so
Yeah, I'm just saying specifically Godzilla, not
Specifically Godzilla.
I'm,
Fair
I'm
enough,
saying
fair enough.
this entire concept was made because we fucking dropped
But
nuclear bombs.
is it okay for them to use the U.S. Godzilla?
Yeah.
Because
That's-
we
Well,
have
no,
our own
not
terrible
the
Godzilla.
U.S. Godzilla from the recent films, but the one from the 90s.
Yeah, no.
They can-
yeah.
The
they can
recent
use
films,
the-
those don't count because those are Japanese. I'm saying the one that we made in America.
Oh, the recent films are American. They're made by Legendary. Shin Godzilla is the only Japanese one.
Okay,
made
maybe
recently.
I'm only. Oh, you're right. I completely forgot that they were making Godzilla movies again, American ones.
Kong Skull Island was actually pretty good.
I like
I
that
hated
one.
that movie so much.
And
Really?
Just the military cliche stuff was just so awful. Just like,
Yeah.
we're gonna kill it the military way. It's so.
It was a King Kong movie.
Yeah.
It was too
popcorn
much
and
for me.
cheese.
It was too much for me. And then I don't like Tom Hiddleston as the lead. I thought Brie Larson was good. I really liked John C. Reilly, and I really liked was it Samuel L. Jackson? Was he in that? Who was the other
don't
like
remember.
military
Don't
guy that was
remember who
friendly?
else was in that.
Someone was in.
I need to rewatch
I'm conflating.
Kong Skull
I'm
Island.
conflating Miss Marvel or Marvel.
Then they did Godzilla, and did they just call was it Godzilla King of the Monsters? Can't remember.
It was Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson and
Oh,
Brie
yeah.
Larson team up.
I have no memory of him in the movie.
Well, he was the military
Wow.
guy that was like, maybe we shouldn't. And then there was, it was, who's the,
Yeah.
oh, and
sorry,
Corey
Corey.
Hawkins was in that. Oh, yeah, and they had the one Chinese actress, of course, because they had to, so that people in China
to
would watch
appeal
it.
to China. Yep,
Um,
they did the same thing in like all the sequels.
I just love it when they do that. I love it when that happens. It was like Moonfall. I don't know if you saw that Roland Emmerich movie. It was one of the movies we watched on HBO Max because we wanted to see a bad movie. But there's a prominent Chinese character in that as well. And it's like, well, we know where Roland Emmerich got some of his funding.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we want.
So
I think the biggest problem I have with Kong Skull Island, you brought it up, is I think it's super long.
It is longer than like a Godzilla, like a kaiju movie needs to be, right?
It's
like
2 full hours.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's not too bad.
But
I thought it was like
I
2.5
remember it
hours.
feeling longer than that. So I think.
I still think it's
pacing-wise.
about 15 minutes longer than a kaiju movie needs to be. Like 108 minutes, right around the 100-minute mark. That's pretty good.
It should be an hour and a half, between an hour and a half and 2 hours. Like hour 45 is perfect. Yeah, I'm conflating this with King Kong, which was 3 hours and 21 minutes, which is insane.
Jeez.
Is that the Peter Jackson
That's
one?
the Peter Jackson one.
That
This
one-
was better than the Peter Jackson one.
You
I
know
will give
what?
it
I
that.
actually watched the original King Kong for the very first time, not like maybe a year or two ago, and it's a really bad at first, but then really good movie. At first, it's extremely racist, but once you get past that, they do this really like they do film compositing in it to make it look like King Kong is holding up what's her name, and they do it specifically up against a rock face so that the cragginess of the rock face, where they have to obviously cut the film to do it, it's not as jarring to see it. It's a really cool idea.
That's actually projection. They like shot it and then filmed it into the miniature.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So
There's all kinds of
like
cool shit.
really cool, and it's really fun, and it's good. I forgot there were dinosaurs in the movie.
I liked
like,
it. I
completely
mean, I
forgot.
like the combat in it. I thought it was really good. It's just those like the story was just so cliche that I was like, I cannot Like, there's so many people yelling and shooting guns at things. Like, it was too much for me. I feel like they could have cut that part of the plot out, and it would have been a better movie.
There was a second Godzilla movie where he fought, I think, Rodan and King Ghidorah, and it was not good. And I think there was a third one, which was Kong versus Godzilla, and that's the one where King Kong goes to the center of the earth, and there's a secret realm down in there, and he gets a hammer, and it turns out he's from a race of people who used to live in that realm. And then Godzilla fires an atomic breath down into the middle of the earth, and then King Kong climbs up through it, and then they team up and they fight Mechagodzilla. Which, yes, this is a bad movie, but it is exactly what I want when I watch a kaiju movie. So I really like that one.
Godzilla King of the Monsters, the 2019 movie. That's the movie that had...
No, Godzilla vs. Kong.
That's the movie that had the Stranger Things in it.
Yes, that one was okay, but like too much human shit. I came there to see multiple monsters, barely saw them for the whole film. Wasn't great. Because that was the whole, it's got Rodan in it, and it's got the Mutos. Actually, I don't think they get brought up, even though they probably should have. It's got the King Ghidorah's in it, and like they didn't do a goddamn. Mothra was in it. They didn't do a goddamn thing. But Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong, whichever order it's from, that one was good. King Kong gets a big old hammer. He's from the middle of the earth. Godzilla fucking atomic breaths to the center of the earth. That's cool as hell. One of my favorite things is Godzilla using atomic breath in fun ways. Like in which one was that? Hedorah, I think, in Godzilla versus Hedorah. He just jumps up in the air and then atomic breaths, and then he uses that as a jetpack to fly backwards to get back to the city to fight Hedorah. I think it was Hedorah. It might have been Biollante. I don't remember. No, it wasn't Biollante. I don't remember. It was an older one. I think it was an older one, Showa era.
Isn't there a new Godzilla movie coming out?
Yes, there's a.
Is it the one by Neon Genesis guy? Isn't he doing a Godzilla
Hideki Anno?
Oh no,
he did
like an Ultraman movie, right?
He did. Well, so the one that's in theaters right now in some places is Shin Kamen Rider. I believe
that was
Hideaki Anno. Well, he also did Shin Ultraman that came out I think a year or two ago.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I don't know if that one's got an English dub release yet. It may, but I haven't checked. Kaiju movies are cool. Very cool.
Oh boy, Shin Kamen Rider did not make very much money. Although I guess I don't know what Japan's supposed to have.
I don't think that it released very widely, Shin Kamen Rider, because I don't think Kamen Rider is super popular in America.
No, God no. Kamen Rider is a guy who has a bug head mask.
Yeah, Godzilla is, and then Ultraman isn't really, and then Kamen Rider is definitely not.
But the question is, does Kamen Rider jerk off?
That would make him Kamen Rider.
Okay. Now, does he cry a bunch and then get because his dad sucks? Is that part of that movie?
Of course.
Man,
you guys know about this Twisted Metal show?
One of my favorite parts of the Twisted Metal show was during the E3
Where are the
press
cars?
conference, where they had like an extended fucking footage of the show, and it was just a fight scene. There was 0 cars shown, and I was like, "This is a fucking Twisted Metal." I heard the show also is light on the cars.
Will Arnett is playing Sweet Tooth.
He's doing the
I
voice.
don't know how to imagine that.
He's doing the voice of a guy playing Sweet Tooth because the guy's wearing a mask.
But that's isn't like.
Oh, have you heard Will Arnett?
Like, I imagine him having a crazy clown voice.
No, Sweet Tooth's like a Slipknot character from the band. He's got a gravelly voice.
Yeah,
he's like, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm Will Arnett."
It was the 90s, remember? We were just getting the Mark Hamill clown. We hadn't quite evolved to that yet.
This is like Juggalo appropriate.
Yeah. Straight up. Yeah. I don't know. I heard Anthony Mackie's good in it. I like him as an actor. I like.
I generally like
what's her name?
stuff.
Stephanie Beatriz, the lady from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Can she be a
Oh
trees?
yeah, Rosa.
Beatrice. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not Latino. However, it's correctly pronounced. No, I'm not, surprisingly. I did one of those DNA tests so that they can find me when I am a serial killer. whatever. That's
Or
all.
when one of your distant family members is.
That's all I know about those DNA tests is that they're used to find serial killers,
Yes.
which is insane. Which is also like why you should never take one. Although I made my
Also,
dog
you're
take a
a
future
DNA
man,
test.
it's how the future people are able to track down. Like,
Well, also
the
like
DNA of-
if you are like somewhat like if you're a second cousin of someone who probably committed a murder and the DNA had degraded enough and they
Yeah.
just really want to close the case because they're tired of having to investigate it, they might just fucking arrest you and call it good.
Yeah. The world's
Yeah.
terrible, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I
like,
tend to bring that up a lot.
yeah,
No, I'm here for it. I really gotta watch this Godzilla vs Kong.
we've got
workout.
AI coming for all of our jobs, so
Well, not my job.
to do
my
our
job
jobs
is
terribly.
yeah.
I watched. It was really fun. I don't know. I don't think I shared this, but it was the what's the name of the stupid AI South Park? Someone did a white paper. Fable Simulation. Have you heard of Fable Simulation?
No.
So they are the simulation.co. They are doing AI stuff. And I love you gotta love a company that let's see here I want to do they have their you know what, they pulled it because they said they were going to pull the video that they made a week later because it's got South Park, because they basically created an AI that writes South Park episodes.
Yes,
and-
see, now at the website, all I see is coming soon.
Yeah.
Secure your invite.
So they originally had created like a video game tool thing where it's like a simulation of like they're trying to like simulate like a world and like people. They're basically making, you know how like we're living in the simulation. They're doing that.
Uh-huh.
They're like making a world simulator. So they made a South Park simulator. There's some pretty neat stuff when you think about what they're doing, because basically what they're doing is simulating like show running. So they have like simulated writers and simulated animators, and they all like kind of talk to each other through like it's meant to like try and simulate that. Watch the episode. It's fucking dog shit. It looks terrible. The voices are all AI generated, and there's no jokes because AI doesn't know how to make jokes that aren't just knock jokes. And that are stolen jokes, obviously, because it can't come up with its own jokes. Because to do comedy, you have to be able to make observations on the world that are absurd, which the AI cannot grasp, at least at this point. But during the presentation, they're like, we create these worlds, and we want to create a world like Westworld. First off, Westworld, the whole point is that the AI kills fucking everyone. So I don't know if that's something you want to aspire to. And if you go on their website right now, they have what is it, like Dodge City, I think is the thing they're calling it. They like got like a Westworld thing they're trying to go for. So they're anyway, which I thought was hilarious because they're like, first off, second off, if you've seen the Westworld show, specifically all of the characters are written. There's no AI creating like things. They have specific storylines they're written to follow for guests that come in, and people are like, I like this storyline. There's a story editor, a writer. It's like, yes, they're AI and the fact that they're robots that can react and talk to people, but they have a storyline written by humans, so it's good. Anyway, it was like the analogy they gave was so stupid. I was like, fucking A, man. It's like, remember Frankenstein when we created a monster? We're going to do that. It's like, no, that's a bad idea. Anyway.
So second section header is empowering AI people. So that sounds like bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the shift from Web3 crypto shit to AI grifting was so gradual. We barely noticed.
The Venn diagram between weird guys who have no talent that are into AI shit, that used to be weird guys that have no talent that are into crypto shit, is a perfect circle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, especially because like with how bad AI are and how many like crypto bros are like creating AI companies that are basically, we're just taking the open source chat GPT architecture that's free and they're like trying to build a company around that and using that, and it's like, that is not a thing that you can do. It's just like with crypto, like we can create tokens that are just AI generated pieces of garbage You know, like anyone can do this anyway.
Yeah, if anyone can do it, it's valueless.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it's actually
the whole point.
I don't know if you saw the Folding Ideas video about the made for you audiobooks, the like twins. the
Yes, that's
influencer.
a really good one.
So that is something that is going to be supercharged by ChatGPT because one, it can write the book for you, so you don't need to pay someone to write the book, and two, you can use an AI voice person to do the reading. So literally, you don't need to use anyone now to make a made-for-you audiobook. You just need to be one of those fucking chat. So I can imagine...
And still no one will listen to it.
So I can imagine the Audible team is now spending a lot more time on moderation and looking at stuff, which is, hey, there's jobs. AI's creating jobs.
No, but Audible is going to be using AI to moderate. Like, we're just making bots to.
But someone will need to write that
The world is becoming a Pornhub comment section. Just bots talking to bots, and that's it.
And then
I'd be into that if they gave me like a personal bot to talk to all of the customer service bots that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
If I could just offload that, then it's perfect.
I think you're onto something. Let's do a startup.
So you know, it's really. I started watching another. So I like to watch like the scam baiter channels and stuff. I forget the name of all them. There's Kit Boga, who's really funny, and like, but there's Pleasant Green who does scam stuff, and he's not quite as funny, but he's a little bit more like explanationally about the stuff. But one thing he brought up, and then there's something that you'll understand now, is that the scammers are getting fucked by the fact that people are using automated voice things, because he was like, one of the most recent scam videos he put up was about like Southwest Airlines scam, where if you need to make a change to your ticket, you could Google like Southwest customer service and it'll come up as a scammer's number, you know, because Google's awful and it'll just give you a scammer number.
SEO.
But it was even worse than Google, because he went on like I forget the websites, like Find a Human or something or whatever, and that had pulled the scam one as well. But he said the dead giveaway that's a scam is when you call, a person picks up right away, because if you call any regular company's helpline, you'll have to talk to a robot for 5 to 10 minutes. So that's one tip to know that you're being scammed, that you're talking to an actual person right away. Yeah, that, and I had a friend too that was talking about how they got one of those phone call scams they were scared about that they had like a pending warrant or something, and they had like a bunch of like personal information about them, like their address and all this shit, and it was like, you don't though. And this is the thing you need to know, anyone listening: if anyone ever calls you saying you have a warrant, you don't, because if you have a warrant that they care about, they will come to your house and pick you up. If it's a warrant they don't care about, you'll find out about it when you get pulled over. Yeah, because they don't care.
Yeah, that's the only two types of warrants there are.
Yeah.
There's the kind where you're going to get arrested right now, and there's the kind where you're going to get a heftier fine next time you get pulled over.
Actually,
the third type is the band that does cherry pie.
That's true.
So it was another thing too.
Cold drink of water is such a sweet surprise.
Yeah, so his was particularly interesting. So they used a new method I hadn't heard of, where they said it was the court calling because he had skipped jury duty, and they wanted to know his reason for skipping jury duty, and the valid reason isn't that you didn't receive the letter or whatever, and they needed and they had a warrant, or whatever, and they were and it's like, first off, if you skip jury duty, there's no warrant, and if it's your first time, there may not even be a fine, depending on what state you're in, but if it is a fine, it's going to be under $100, and they're going to mail that fine to you. No one ever will call you about police matters or legal matters. No, that is never a thing that happens. You will get a letter. Generally, this is why servers exist, process servers, because they get paid to say they handed it to you when you identified yourself. Like, anyway, I just think it's so funny. Like, the scam shit is crazy though, because like my parents are getting old, and I worry. And I kind of want to like send them some of these videos and be like, hey, just make sure, like, when somebody says they're from technical services, don't like ever believe anything they're saying, because some of these scams are really good.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that aren't scams, though, go to Facebook user privacy settlement.com. I hate the settlement websites because they all sound like they're scams. Like, the URLs for them all sound like they're scams. But Facebook user privacy settlement.com is a real website. if you had a Facebook account between like 2007 and 2019, or still have one,
7 billion people did.
basically everybody, anyone who fills out this opt-in form will get a
20
portion of
cents.
$725 million, which, depending on how many people figure it out, I don't know, probably be $10. That's what people have like estimated.
The
Like
most
on the
I've
amount
ever
of people,
gotten from one of those is $4.
yeah, like
It was
probably
from
be
the
$10.
CD
But hey, that's
drive.
$10. That's $10 that you get, and you get it just enter your PayPal, and it just gets deposited directly to your PayPal. And hey, that's $10 you got for free because Mark Zuckerberg sucks. So that's why not? It takes like
What was
5
that
seconds to fill
URL
that
one
out.
more time.
Facebook user privacy settlement.com.
I know there's a specific class action lawsuit for Illinois for Instagram as well, but I don't remember the details on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously you're not going to get tons of money, but you are going to get
Wow, this is a legal ass website.
like $10. So that's fun to have $10 that you didn't have before. It's like finding it in your coat, but it's because Mark Zuckerberg sold the election to Trump in 2016. So like, kind of bad, a lot worse than having money in your coat, but you know. This is specifically for the Cambridge Analytica thing.
Yeah, man, Twitter is gone. It's X.
Twitter,
now.
no, Twitter is literally gone. Yeah, it's X now.
X now, except for in the countries where they can't
X is
register the
gonna
name
go to
X, which is multiple, which is hilarious.
What I think is funny is that everyone called Elon Musk the most divorced man for so many years, and then he thinks the coolest thing to name the website is X.
Yeah,
It's like, that's the joke.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Rainier Wolfcastle. That's the joke.
Yeah, he's I don't understand. It makes me feel like we live in a simulation. Where
It's
like
true.
how
I think
ridiculous.
X
He's doing
was a
literally
placeholder that he
everything
had for,
wrong.
like-
It
Yeah.
I
feels
think X
scripted.
is literally placeholder. Like, I think they have no idea what they're doing.
Well, that's what somebody said, and maybe this is true, but like maybe he's doing a producer's thing. Like he's got like fucking shorted the stock or something, and he's just
Someone who still uses X was telling me the other day, like, I think maybe he's mad at the law firm that made him buy it, so he's trashing it on purpose to make his case better. I'm like, they're gonna like. There was that news story about, oh, he's suing the law firm that made him buy it, and it's like, yeah, but they're gonna settle out of court, and he's gonna pay him like $9 million, and they made $90 million off the deal. So all that they're really doing is, it's funny because he bought the company that was paying the law firm that forced him to buy it. He ended up paying the bill that forced him to buy the company.
it's
But
just
all that
ludicrous.
kind of result from that is he's gonna give them, or he's gonna get like 10 million of the 90 million or whatever back, but still have paid all that money. Like, I hated that website a lot, and I thought it was dog shit, and I wish it would have got deleted many years ago. But like, if like, you know, like Jeff Bezos, huge fucking scumbag, were to buy a website, what I would assume he would do is to not really change anything, to start collecting money, introduce a few new shitty features, unban your friends, and then just like collect.
This is
Just wait and collect.
quite
And that's what I
literally what
expect
he
him to
did
do.
with the Washington Post.
Yeah, and
Is he
that's
bought the
what
Washington Post, basically did nothing, and is just collecting money. The only thing he did was make it so if you have Amazon Prime, it's $4 a month to get some Washington Post subscription. So that's why I have a Washington Post subscription.
Yeah,
Like,
so
'cause
like,
he did nothing.
But
Though. He's not like Elon. He's just knows to sit in the background and collect checks.
I expected what Elon would do was, like, obviously fuck with the algorithm so that his tweets appear higher up
yep,
because
yep,
he's
yep,
the narcissist.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I assumed he would unban some right wing people, and I assumed he would introduce the blue subscription, and that all happened like immediately. And I was like, okay, now he's gonna settle down and just fucking collect, because this is his dream, is owning a website for
Yeah,
where all his.
he just gabified Twitter. You know.
And then he just like continuously just did the things that you would do if you were writing a comedy.
it's because
about
he's a narcissist. He needs to be on the news all the time. They need to have people
Yeah.
talking about him. So he just has to do something ridiculous so that people are talking about it.
He will discover a new word and then not stop using it. He discovered the word psyop and didn't ever like look up what it meant. Just like saw it in a tweet and assumed what it meant from it, and was like, "All right, we're calling TweetDeck X Pro now. We're adding a whole bunch of psyop features, and he's saying it as if it was a joke. Like, haha, adding psyop features is the joke here. But like, it didn't. There's no context in which that's a punchline. He just learned a new word.
No,
and
I mean
became
he's like
thing.
any like fucking like CEO or boss
It's
that
like-
you've had, where they learn like a buzzword for technology and they just start using it, and it's like you don't know what that means.
Or when a kid goes to college and takes English 101 and learns the word ennui and like has to use it in every fucking sentence. I've been that college kid,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you know,
Ennui is a really fun word.
ennui's a great word. It was, I think, a couple Fridays ago. It was the dictionary.com word of the day. I've been doing Xenoblade Chronicle streams on Fridays, and the way I open my streams, because I don't know what to do with my hands or how to open a video game stream, is I just read the dictionary.com word of the day. So, fun fact, a couple weeks ago, it was the Friday.
Do you guys have a favorite word? I know what mine is.
Of all time?
Yeah.
God,
I'll,
diarrhea
I'll,
is a really
I'll
good
start with
word.
mine. I'll give you guys some time. My favorite word I think of all time is facetious. I love facetious. Just the way it's spelled, the way it's pronounced, what it means. I love all of
Oh,
it.
you mean fastidious?
No, facetious.
Fastidious.
I dislike that word for that reason.
I love that word just because I love how complicated it is.
Oh,
That's
fuck.
it. Facetious, facetious. That's because I like being
Favorite
facetious.
Favorite word of all. Diarrhea is
Diarrhea
a
is
really
a really good word.
I fucking
It's
love
very
the word
musical
diarrhea.
for what it is.
Yeah, because it's like diarrhea. Like you can use it in a lot of different
Yeah.
melodies.
Mhm.
Like if you're just singing along to a tune, you don't know the words yet, but you know you're trying to like write a song. Diarrhea. That's like 4 very musical, easy to hit
You're
notes.
rounding
right
into first and your pants about to burst. Diarrhea.
But yeah,
diarrhea.
see, like
Mm-hmm.
I just it's a good word.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
also made funnier by the teenage
I
stepdad
forget what
spelling
second is.
diarrhea.
I forget what the second is from the diarrhea song is.
Oh, I wouldn't
Because
know.
third is stinky turd, and home, sliding into home, and your pants are full of foam. Diarrhea. But I don't remember what second base is. Anyone?
I don't remember.
At
It's been
one
so
time,
long.
I did say your pants are getting heavier by the second, but that's like rhyming second with second. So I don't know if that was the
Here we go.
official language.
There's multiple diarrhea song. Bob's Burgers. Get the fuck out of here. That's not the original diarrhea song.
You don't know that.
No, it Bob's. There was a song I sang when I was a kid.
You don't know if he's a time traveler
Oh,
or not.
maybe. Yeah.
Was that on an Adam Sandler album? Like back before he was getting big?
When you're sliding into first and you're feeling something burst, diarrhea. Oh, there is no third. You just skips to third. When you're sliding to third, you feel a juicy turd. Diarrhea. When you're sliding at home, your pants are full of foam.
Or is this
Diarrhea.
like a Steve Martin?
When you're sitting in a Chevy and your shorts are feeling heavy, diarrhea. Chevy, Colorado.
Chevrolet, Colorado.
That's in there. Chevy and your pants are feeling heavy, diarrhea. Great song, very musical word. Any you two either have maybe not favorite word. I might be putting you on the spot, but like
Yeah.
a word that you would love to say and enjoy.
Umami.
Ooh, I like
It's a
that
good
one.
one. It's a good
It's
one.
like it feels to say it how it tastes. It's
Mhm.
very satisfying, very smooth.
TJ.
I kind of see. I have more of a word pet peeve.
Oh,
And that is there any context where the word integral, like something is integral, is there any context that it's supposed to be pronounced integral? Because I've heard people pronounce it that way.
if you're British, maybe they say that, like how they say
Okay.
aluminium.
Yeah, maybe.
How they-
They spell
mean-
that one different.
Yeah,
they
they
add an I
that's
there.
true. They do spell that
am-
one wrong.
I am getting a little less picky because I am starting to try and be more like a Tom Scott. I'm trying to be more of a language descriptivist and not a language prescriptivist.
Down with
I-
prescriptivism.
I'm getting rid of my grammar totalitarian tendencies.
I am almost always a fan of that, except for in the case of begs the question, because it specifically means something that if we
No, it
take
doesn't.
it
Nothing
away,
means anything
it
anymore.
stops meaning that. Like entire philosophical books are written with that as a form of fallacy, and if it means something completely different, then those books are wrong.
What about when a phrase gets co-opted to like the opposite of like blood is thicker than water. The second half of that is like the blood of the covenant is more important than the water of the womb. So it's supposed to be like choose your family, you know? It's
Yeah.
the opposite of what people think it means.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know why aluminum and aluminium exists? It's because British people are dumb, basically. So aluminum was what it was called when it was originally discovered by a British person, and then they changed it to aluminium because they wanted it to sound more Latin-y. They wanted it to sound fancier. So
Sounds
it's
like an 1800s ass way of
ooh,
naming something.
aluminium.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
I guess aluminum was super hard to like refine, but it was also this like, it's so light, it's amazing, the lightest metal I've ever seen. So like, you would have big fancy table sets of aluminum silverware, like that French, that short French guy did.
Yeah, that's funny. Is they're like, this is the fanciest element right now, and now it's just trash.
But like, because it was such an amazing thing, then that like made the push for let's figure out how to mass produce this.
So what you're saying is aluminum was the AI of that generation.
Yeah.
I'd say aluminum is way better than AI because aluminum is pretty close to 100% recyclable. Where
That is true.
like it's one of only a few materials where you recycle it and you get the same quality of material out at the end.
I mean, it's a fucking
so
element.
like 95% of the aluminum that's been mined in the world is still in circulation.
Yeah, well, at this point, I think specifically it costs more to extract more aluminum than it does to recycle the aluminum we already have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk
Pretty
about
cool.
Can we talk about something terrible?
The
That's
world is dying.
usually what we do.
How are you gonna pick though? Like, there's so many.
Oh, well, how about landlords?
Yeah.
So
That's
I love them.
I'm part of a
Personally, professionally.
private landlord Facebook group that I like.
John has infiltrated behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
He actually does own 3 apartment buildings, or at least has some fake leases.
I had to
We should
show.
tie a
deeds.
rope around John in case if he like actually buys a building and we can yank him out of there.
He has bought a building. The one he
Would
lives
not.
in.
Yes, it's true. I do own one building,
Yes.
but it is not a rental building. No, I mean, I think the thing is that it's crazy is that like people that do like landlording and shit are fucking insane because it is such a fucking hassle. Like there's so many better and easier ways to make money. One of which would just be buying and selling and flipping homes rather than fucking renting them to people. But anyway, I saw this one that really made me laugh. So we have haunted house question. Hadn't
like
seen
where
this
this is
come up
going.
in the old fucking landlord thing. My tenant says she's experiencing strange things happening. People whispering.
In the neighborhood?
Yeah, strange things are happening in the neighborhood. Who are they going to call? People
I don't
whispering,
know.
footsteps, doors opening and closing. She's lived there 1 year. Not sure how to handle this one. And I think most of the responses are generally, if she wants to break her lease, let her and find someone else because this is going to get worse for you very quickly. If they're starting
Also,
to complain
just
about
like due diligence, check for carbon monoxide just in case.
that is literally one of the responses that I
Yep.
upvoted because I like to go on these and like basically give the most tenant friendly answer. And one is like, carbon monoxide detectors, those installed. But some of these are very good. We've got
Make sure they're installed down low.
Yeah.
we've got Cass.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like carbon monoxide is neutrally buoyant with air,
Uh-huh.
so you could just accidentally walk into a pocket of it and drop dead.
We've got Cassie M. Spirit world is real, but demonic spirits come in when a person is doing something to open themselves up to it. If you're a believer in Jesus, you just need to go pray through the house on Jesus' name and tell her to clean up her household, lol. Love this. This is why I'm on Facebook still.
I really
see
hope
this
they meant
fucking
lots
trash.
of love at the end there.
I experienced stuff like this in my house. Multiple people, including me, have seen a gray, smoky, spelled wrong, shadow on or near my staircase. My 6-year-old and I have both seen a little dog. And multiple people hear and see, in quotes, things here. All these are separate occasions. Call me crazy. My house is just haunted. I would either
You're
let
crazy.
the tenant out of the lease if they're disturbed by it, or let them get the house cleansed at their own expense, which I love. Like, okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna. You want
Does
to?
the
I'll give you a
landlord
list
have to
of some
smudge?
exorcists.
Is it-
Go ahead.
I was just like, is there a limit? Like the landlord has to provide at least one smudge stick and a lighter.
Millie Joe has to respond to that. The spiritual world is connected to our physical world. The veil is thin and only getting thinner. With Tracy responding, totally agree.
Oh my god.
Just like, what is this? I just love when you bring up ghosts. And you're like, that's funny. And then there's all these people who are like, oh, it's fucking real.
Yeah, no, I love ghosts. I love paranormal stuff. I love playing Phasmophobia. Like, I absolutely adore the whole thing. But what I don't like is when people get too into the woo shit and they're like, no, you have to buy this special incense that you can only get from my store. And it's like, you need to, like, I like woo shit as a thing to do. And if people want to take it seriously in their personal life, I think that's cool for them. The problem I have is when they start exporting it and it gets really like slimy. But yeah, basically what these people are having happen is we have like brains that are arachnophobic by default, and peripheral vision is extremely not detailed. So if you see a blur in the corner of your eye, your brain will just fill in with whatever you think it might be with a subconscious thought, because you really can't see very much with peripheral vision at all.
It's, you
That's
have
all
to
it ever is.
The funny thing is, it takes like a not insignificant amount of learning to realize how stupid your brain actually is.
Yeah.
Is this something you learn if you have anxiety issues and you go to therapy and stuff, and they'll talk about like the reason why you have panic attacks and things? Just go back to like your dumb caveman brain is just reacting in a way that it shouldn't be, because it was built this way to make all of these things happen when you think you're in danger, and your brain is just making up shit right now because it's like it's just
You'll get fucked up shoulders and hips because when you're in fight or flight, those are the muscles that like activate and get you ready to run.
Dude, man, when I was
and
having,
if they stay activated too long, it like fucks them up.
Yeah, when I was having my terrible anxiety issues, like it started the pandemic, like I would just wake up and my shoulders and arms and legs would just be really sore, like I had worked out. And it's like, I was just being tense. My body was ready to run at all times. And it's like, you just need to like relax, and it's hard. Anyway, so go see someone or get drugs if you need help, because don't feel any stigma. I have a really... Go ahead.
On the Mastodon server that I moderate, the one of the users had made a post about what Mothman, the Jersey Devil thing or whatever. So and like cryptids are another thing that I love, and I think it's super cool. But what you find out is that people also get too into it, like those landlords do with ghosts, where like he's like, oh, this was a heron, because like what happens is if a heron, a bird that's around New Jersey or wherever, stands up fully and spreads its wings, it looks like a kind of weird, freaky, naked, gross guy with wings, because birds are kind of human shaped a little bit, especially when they're fully elongated, and herons are large birds. So basically what happens is people driving at night, their headlights see a heron for 1 second. They're like, oh my God, it was Mothman. And like that's funny, right, to just point something out like that. But then in the replies, there were people like, no, there's this book about Mothman, and it doesn't explain how other people have seen things that were going 100 miles per hour, because herons can't go 100 miles per hour.
Movie. It's 100%.
Well, it's another thing as to why like aliens, gray aliens specifically look the way they do, is because that's what your like face thinks, or your brain thinks of as a template of a blank face, basically. And so that's why everyone describes the same thing. I have so many more comments we have to get to. Sorry,
okay.
I don't. We have
that was it. That was it. I just wanted to say people like to do that with cryptids too.
We have Joanne Andrus. I've been a deliverance minister for over 12 years. The spirit realm is real. Are they your first tenant? They've been there a year. This is the first time they've experienced it? If so, then they open the door to allow demons in that house through Ouija boards, spelled wrong, and other spiritual things. This is the fucking kicker right here. All divination, yoga, Most New Age practices will open a door for demons in your life. These doors can be closed and evil spirits commanded
I've
to
heard
leave.
this.
In Jesus' name, by someone who knows their identity in Christ or believe there's power in Jesus' name. Feel free to message me if you want me to cleanse that house or have them message me. It can be done through Zoom. I'm just going to zoom in and get these fucking demons fucking cast
I'm
out.
glad that
I've heard of this.
I'm glad that whenever the Lord in heaven, God Almighty, was making up the rules for how demonic possession works, he was like, you know what? They're gonna have video conferencing later in the history. I'm gonna make sure that all this stuff works over WebEx.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, in The Evil Dead 2, if you remember from a previous episode of Actually, he did summon a demon through a recording of someone saying that.
Yep.
So, anyway, I've got more, though, of course. Someone says, yoga
I just
invites
wanted to
demons in?
acknowledge that, like,
Yeah.
I've heard this before, this, like, thought process that, like, these things that you could do to make you healthier and happier are the devil and open you up to, like, demonic possession.
This fucking blows my mind, though. Yoga invites demons in? Yes.
Yeah.
Through the years, I've seen people physically healed, and demons leave them as soon as they renounce yoga. A fucking workout. Renounce
I
a
think you just
workout.
saw people physically healed by yoga.
The moves were created to worship a particular god and shows you sin worshiping in other gods unknowingly. But that's how Satan gets us when we're ignorant of what could cause us harm. God tells us not to get involved in divination, witchcraft, idol worship, and many things to keep us from opening doors for evil spirits to have access in our lives and our generations.
Eating shellfish, wearing clothes of more than 2 different kinds of cloth.
Yoga?
God
I
tells
thought
us to do a
yoga's
lot of
just
things that you
stretching.
don't bring up right now. What if someone wore like a half cotton, half polyester shirt while in the house? That opened a door.
Yeah,
I
or eat a
like
lobster.
Tasha Thompson, top contributor, whose Facebook profile picture is a raven drinking a coffee, and it says "Nevermore."
Does top
Okay, one
contributor
more.
just mean they leave a lot of comments?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I have to get over this again. It's a picture of a raven drinking a coffee, and it says "Nevermore." Okay, one more. You know, coffee jokes, classic.
Don't
She
talk
says-
to me until I've had my coffee. Am I
This-
right, everybody?
Tasha responds, except demons and other gods are older than Jesus. So yeah, God tells us to stone people.
That's actually
Wait,
true.
maybe my mind is changing. Does it matter the size of the stone? What are these people doing right now?
One of my favorite things about people is whenever they figure out that like God comes from an older like pantheon of gods, or El was the name of one of them, and then like slowly permutated into Judaism over the course of a few thousand years, and they're like, but this is all part of God's plan. It's like, no, it didn't exist at the time. This is fan fiction.
Mm-hmm. I prefer the supernatural version of God, where he's just kind of a dick that doesn't care anymore and fucks off whenever he wants to.
The absent God, yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
so
you're
you're a
boring me. I'm gone.
He's
so
a
you're a
Bezos
deist. Got
God, not a Musk God, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Brett A has to say, I have dealt with this, and it was actually real. 2 cats and my brother all died within 1 year. I love that the cats and his
that
brother
falls
are
because
together.
Cats
in
are
this.
immune to ghosts.
Yeah. Each
Cats
injury
keep ghosts away.
Each injury was a head injury. No other damage done to the body. Cat's head ran over. Like what? Like that's just a guy ran over your cat. Other cat was hung by his collar, and my brother was
That's
a
why you
motor.
gotta get
serial killer.
This sentence hung by his collar.
Also,
Wait, okay, go
hung by
ahead.
your collar is not a head injury. That's a neck injury.
Shh. And my brother was a motorcycle.
He was a motorcycle?
Yeah, it's the sentence.
My brother was a motorcycle.
My brother was a motorcycle, solely a head injury. No broken. This is literally
So
what
if you use
happens
a
when you
motorcycle
ride
rider
a
that didn't wear a
motorcycle without a
helmet?
helmet. Exactly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
fly
okay.
off and
Yeah.
crack your skull. No broken
My
bone.
God, I've seen some videos.
Bruises. What are you on Live Leak? Did they bring it back?
No,
Bruises.
I used to follow like a medical examiner on Instagram back when I was still
God.
on Instagram. It's like the worst thing I ever saw once was this motorcycler who just didn't have a face anymore. He was sitting on the
Oh.
concrete, conscious and like listening to people talk to him, but did not have a face anymore.
Yeah, that reminded me of in my old theater group in my small town, there's a guy who was an EMT, and he talked about the most fucked up thing he ever saw was a guy had gotten into like a motorcycle accident, and his like face had been sliced off like this way, and so it looked like his face was coming through the snow on the ground, but it was just the like, front of his face basically, because he had hit like one of those the metal barriers or whatever at the side of the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wear a fucking helmet for
wear
fuck's
a fucking
sake,
helmet.
because your
And
face
stop buying
is
Harleys. They're too loud and it's bad engineering.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like, you want a worse loud motorcycle?
Yeah.
All three were males. We had the same issues with slamming doors, brand new windows just falling out. So people just, built it wrong. And the female cat acting weird from time to time. Who's ever
Going
had a cat
into heat.
Who's ever had a cat that acts weird from time to time?
Yeah.
Which we caught a orb on video in front of her when she was acting strange.
Was she acting strange because she was like hunting bugs that were flying in the air?
Turns out we brought in a psychic media person, and they walked through the home. The previous owner was widowed and remarried. His new wife was 15 years younger and married him for his estate, founder of Ace Hardware. He was very ill. She was, quote, taking care of him. She had locked in a bedroom, locked from the outside, and basically starved him to death. The new wife, Ruth, is being seen by neighbors in the window where the master bedroom is, and also a few times in the morning in the backyard. She died from a head injury when slipping in the bath space room and hitting her head on a wall, which we fixed the damage when we bought the house. And the head dent
I have
in
to
the
say,
wall.
I'm actually enjoying this reading. We're doing.
She had a thing against men. All the neighbors have told us various stories of, quote, ruthless Ruth, and everything lined up. We ended up bringing in a team for recording and communication with the spirits, and we were able to get them to head to St. Peter. The house has been quiet with no issues for 3 years now. Believe what you want. I can share a link to the documentary. It is my parents' house. It may seem far stretched out, but they could actually have a legit problem. And there is a fucking documentary, which I've clicked a link to here. Episode 79, Ruthless Ruth. There's a man talking in front of a video. EVP mediums. How many views? I cannot tell how many views. 839 views. A very popular video. So yeah, I just love that I went through this, and I was not disappointed over like how this, so many people though, so many helpful people saying, can you just make sure that they're inspected to have carbon monoxide leak or something, because that is straight up a thing. Anyway, a lot of people saying houses are not haunted. If she wants to leave, let her leave, because obviously she's going to have problems. Seriously, tell her to cleanse the house with sage. Open the windows and command the evil spirits to go. This really works. Similar to a prayer. Anyway, yep. So help DIY, So some of the fun jokes. Make sure that additional occupant has a background check, and start charging them for an additional resident. I like that. Anyway.
No, we don't. This is actually out of our knowledge base, because we could just find evidence and identify the ghosts. We don't have any idea how to get rid of them. The games did not prepare us for that.
I like this one saying they could just be doing meth. I had a tenant that said that there were bugs everywhere in the apartment, and it just turned out they were in meth. There were no bugs. I just love this. Well, so we got some supernatural people saying, get asked for these guys to come by. Anyway. I love it. I love the person, though. The straight up most landlord response is ask them to refer them a cleansing and make them pay for it at their own expense.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, you're not even going to fucking spot them, the fucking cleansing. They didn't haunt the house. But of course, according to that lady, they probably did yoga. So that's why they're haunted. Don't do yoga.
Also, passive income really opens you up to like have a demonic possession.
Well, I think
We
what
should start
happens is
spreading that
passive
rumor.
income opens you up to having way too much time because you're not doing a real job. So you think about ghosts and shit. because you're not doing real work. Anyway, yeah. So housing crisis sucks. Landlords are terrible. That's it, really.
This is certainly the first time hearing of it.
I'm glad I was able to find that saved landlord post because I've been following this for a while, and my God, the fucking responses of just so. This is like why we'll never have solved climate change. We will never have a good president. We'll never have science because people just believe the dumbest shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the COVID really is what sealed it for me, though. Just the amount of anti-science.
The volume of Herman Cain awards in the peak of the pandemic, both posts of and deaths by award winners, it made me realize that if COVID kills 10% of these people, that means 90% of these people are still out there, and 10% of those people was and 10% of those people was a fucking lot of people, which means that there's 9 times as many of the people who died out there just believing things and voting and having shitty opinions about everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point of when you hear people say stuff like that, I just straight up rebut them. And I'm like, no, you're stupid. There was a Madison Theater person that got way into anti-vax shit, and we're just like, no, you're dumb. Shut up. That's fucking stupid. You're not going to be in this show. Sorry. If you're not going to get vaccinated, sorry. Done. You have a dumb opinion that's bad and wrong. Provably wrong. There is not an opinion here. It is you are factually incorrect.
I'm really good at so the other day was yesterday actually was sysadmin day. Happy sysadmin day, systems administrators out there.
Wait, do they have,
I'm one of those.
Do they have trans admins? Hey,
they probably do.
I already made my one joke.
There you go.
Sysadmin.
Yeah, so systems administrator. Anyway, I'm good as a sys administrator. I'm a good fit for it because I've always been the guy who was like, yeah, your opinion sucks, and then just no, because people will say to me things like, I need da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, nope, you don't. Closed ticket. The answer was no. They'll be like, can I open the ticket or open a new one? No, you can't. I said no. I'm great at that. I love doing that. That's fun. So if anyone's ever like, oh, vaccines, I'm just like, go away. You no longer exist to me now, and if I control any of your digital resources, I will fucking delete them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that in your standard accent or in the accent you use on the podcast?
This is my standard accent at this point. I didn't grow up with this accent, but I don't have to try to use this accent anymore. Because I did speaking competitions in high school, and so I had to learn to enunciate without an accent or a drawl, and I just started speaking like that, and I've done it for 15 years. So basically, I've spent more of my life talking like this now than I ever did talking with an accent or with the accent that I grew up with.
And if I remember correctly, that's Cockney.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
I sometimes I'll slip up and I'll be like, "Oi, bruv," something like that. But typically, I try to not do that.
I wonder where John is right now.
I going off to the creek, gonna catch me a couple Tutoriambo.
Oh man, you know that Ruth character though?
I
she went to Mexico actually, and then this guy asked her if she wanted to go with him. And they're like, no, we're going to stay at the party. And then it turned out that guy was a cannibal.
Yeah.
I
heard that story, and I never actually believed it because I'm smart and I'm not gullible.
That was like early on in the skepticism internet phase where people were like, oh, I had a friend of a friend.
That was early enough that I didn't expect people to lie for no reason.
Yeah. There's certain people that just like to lie.
Yeah,
for no reason.
I've since been disabused of that.
Yeah,
one of the best things
the mid-aughts
about early internet liars is there was no Wikipedia, there was no fact checking, there was no source checking. No one. Now, there's a lot of things that got on the internet. And I'm trying to remember the name, but there was this TV show about sharks. It was like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy ripoff.
Street Sharks.
It had Street Sharks.
Street Sharks.
Thank you. There was a someone in the late '90s, like very early internet, made a Street Sharks webpage that was basically all about Street Sharks, and it went to talk about the girl Street Shark that got added in season 2. Gave the whole character bio and just like talked about some episodes starring the character.
This.
Did not exist. Never was there a female Street Shark character. I don't think there even was a season 2 of Street Sharks, but because the show was canceled, you couldn't buy it. There was no YouTube. Nobody could verify this. So they just went to the Street Sharks webpage and were like, I guess there was a girl one in a season that I didn't watch. And there with no way to actually look that up because there was no, you couldn't figure that out back then. So for years, and people will still to this day say there was a girl Street Shark because of the internet lying that happened in the early 2000s.
I just like that if you search girl Street Shark now, the internet has provided non-related girl Street Shark content. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just check out Bytecast discussion. Because I do remember this early internet thing, but now it's all just like Rule 34 stuff, which is amazing that the internet is just... Did you know what is that then? Because furry people that are into lizards are scalies. What about people that are into sharks with abs?
I mean, those have scales too. Fish have scales.
That's but
Kind of,
shark
but
is
shark's
a
little bit
mammal.
different.
Aquatic.
No, sharks are not mammals. You're thinking
Probably
of
aquas.
dolphins.
Killer whales are
Yeah,
aquatic mammals, right?
Correct. Yes, killer whales. Sharks
Those
are
are-
different.
Okay.
They can be close to the same
Arthropods.
size. I don't shark. What would it like? I know scalies.
I would probably use the term aquas, but I don't know.
Aquas.
Aqua,
Now we're talking about
like
Kingdom
from
Hearts.
Final Fantasy. Or from
Yeah,
Kingdom
we are
Hearts.
talking about Kingdom Hearts.
I like
Yeah,
that I got Kingdom Hearts and Swanky did not right away because
I have been playing so many RPGs lately. I'm getting them all confused. I've been streaming Xenoblade. I've been playing Final Fantasy 16. I've been watching another friend of mine stream Kingdom Hearts 1. By the way, John,
I'll put a post. Sorry to
since
that.
Matt is not here right now, but also not going to be on the Mountain Dew Road Trip 2023.
Yeah.
One of the things that we need to do, since
Well, I secured a case of the Rocket Pop Mountain Dew. They
Nice.
still had
Very
4
good.
left at the Kroger, so I got one.
very good.
The summer freeze.
Yeah, because they stopped selling it. I mean,
Yeah.
stopped making it.
One of the things we need to do is you sign into the PlayStation and we beat Kingdom Hearts. Me and TJ be there to beat Kingdom Hearts 1 for you.
Good call.
And
Yeah,
Lauren
that
can
is
watch
a
us do
very
that.
good call.
That is such a good call. Yeah. If you got PS4, you got the game.
Oh, I should
Sign
bring
in. or
I
we
should
could
bring
sign
a
in.
controller and a clip so I can finish it on my Xbox.
This is actually
I can't do it
real-
on streaming.
This is actually
Fuck.
a really good point too that we should probably talk about, like what video game stuff we should bring so we can play stuff. Lauren has her own Switch, by the way, so we can do stuff like that.
Okay.
Cool.
So
We
have
I
to,
only
we're-
bring my Switch Lite though.
Oh, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, we'll have to come up with like stuff to bring because I can bring like multiple controllers and stuff. We could play like Steam games and stuff with Spanky's
Oh, yeah.
deck and a dock, and I can bring my deck. And anyway,
Oh, we
Did
should
it-
play some. We should play some bullshit like Lovers in a Dangerous Space
yeah,
Time.
yeah, exactly. Like, so, like, but I was saying, what's that fucking game? Oh, Ultimate Chicken Horse. That game fucking.
Oh
rules.
yes,
We played that at my bachelor party, and it's
we
one of my
did play that
favorites.
at your bachelor party.
Because it's just such a fuck over your friends game that is just zany. Anyway, let's get back to the podcast. So,
Yeah.
rather than trip planning. I think TJ, hey, you had something prepared. If anyone wants to say anything before we get to that,
Yeah.
did you have the
Now or
Cosmo
forever
Buzz
hold
ready?
your peace. I timed my pee break as best I could.
No, it worked.
I
out.
had to do that.
Um,
I had to do that for Oppenheimer because we saw it at the 10:30 a.m. showing, and we had went to Starbucks beforehand. So
Fucking
coffee.
burned
Had
myself
one of
making
them
dinner
coffee
today.
teas. Why?
I was we took out some leftover turkey that was in the freezer.
Hmm.
So Thanksgiving turkey.
Mhm.
We made a tuna helper with it, and I'm like, oh, it's still a little frozen. So put it in a pan with some butter to kind of butter fry it, get a little bit of a nice little browningness on it. And as I was trying to cut some of the still frozen pieces, like a super hot piece of butter just flew onto my hand.
Wow.
Fucking sucked.
Hot butter hand.
Hot butter hand. All right.
It's like a butter face.
All right. Which one of you fuckers is Spanky, and which one of you fuckers is Spapalapananki?
I'm
Spanky.
Spapalapananki.
Perfect. Leave it. Don't change it. I got it. I have a spot for your nickname, so it's good.
No, just kidding. I'm Matt.
Oh, and now John's changing it. Why would you do that, John? I'm just gonna call you Spapapa. No.
I like it
Is that
when
good?
you call me Spapapa.
You spelled it.
Did I
And
spell
John,
it right?
John is now Spopalopa Spanky.
Ah.
Spanky did all A's. That's fine.
Spapalapananki.
So I got Spopa and Spapa. So
Spapalapananki.
Spopa and Spapa. Here in
and now,
Italy.
now John's changing it again.
This is really funny.
Okay, we're done. We're done. I know this one now.
What? What's my name?
Matt with an extra T.
Because Matt, M-A-T-T, was already taken.
Yes. Okay. It's Actually time. I've curated another episode of Actually for us. I've got 13 questions here. Full of a bunch. In my hand here, I have a bunch of incorrect statements about pop culture and bullshit that we all happen to know or know a little bit about. First one to buzz in and correct me gets the point. All corrections must be preceded by the phrase actually. Fucking Matt buzzed in. How do I turn this?
Actually, I buzzed in and did not get a point. So
Okay, I appreciate that, Matt.
You didn't say I'm actually.
You didn't. Say,
I did.
He
I
said
did say
actually. But you
Actually, he did say, actually, Spanky. I get a
Give
point.
John a point. He did it.
John gets a point too,
open volume mixer.
but I don't get
gotta
a point
turn this
because I
shit
think if I
down.
get a point, it makes a paradox.
Time paradox. Okay. I shouldn't know about that at all. All right, I'm gonna reset the buzzers. We know how this rolls. Last game was 4-3 to 7. John with 4, Matt with 3, Spanky with 7. I have actually now written this down, so now I'm starting a history
Oh,
There we
good.
go.
games. So Spanky's currently wearing the crown, and we are going to start off with our comics question.
Oh, all right. Sonic Comics question to start us off. All right.
Didn't even
Yeah.
say Sonic, and I don't know the Archie Sonic comics. That's the one Sonic thing you'd get me on.
We are actually going to discuss.
I did not get you on it.
Well, no,
No
I
one
wouldn't
would
get
get
the
it.
point though. Everything else Sonic, I'll get the fucking point.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. What comics are this? Because I don't read comics, so.
It's fine. We're discussing the 1980 graphic novel Mouse.
Oh, I've read this.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
familiar with the concept, I guess.
Yep. The characters in Mouse are stylized as animals. For example, Germans are depicted as cats, Jewish people as mice, and Americans as eagles. But in spite, we got John buzzing in.
Actually, Americans are dogs.
That's correct.
Boom.
Damn it!
I read that
focus
through like
on.
8 times. I love that graphic novel series. Great
That's
art.
One of the ones,
Won the Eisner Award.
that's one of the ones being like banned all over the place right now.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
of course, because it talks about bad stuff. Because we can't do that.
We can't say the Nazis were bad.
Think of the children, John.
Humans
Think
were never
of the
bad.
Think
children.
of them.
If we say the Nazis
of
were
the
bad, then all of the white
fact that-
children will think
So
they are bad
I
too.
read that in high school, and it fucked me up because there's not a lot of actual depiction, but the story about the person, like the Nazi, finding the crying child and just slamming them against a wall until they died, like
Mhm.
that was like that's real shit that happened.
Yeah.
Like this is why you can't let fascists. This is why punching fascists is okay
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they aren't human.
What's the? I saw a phrase the other day. I guess I'm a socialist because I want even Nazis to have free health care, and I guess I'm an anarchist because I want them to need it.
All right. Moving on to question 2. Diving into the world of fantasy with the never-ending story.
I've seen that movie once.
Okay.
I've seen that fairly
Stranger
recently.
Things.
Close enough.
Close enough. Bastion hides in an old bookstore to avoid some bullies and is confronted by the bookseller, Mr. Coriander. Or Coriander? Whatever. Looks like Coriander to me. Bastion becomes intrigued by one of the shop's books, but Coriander tells him that it's not safe and not for you. In spite of the warning, Bastion buys the book, which is called The Never-Ending Story. John has buzzed in.
Actually, I don't think he buys the book. I think he is given it as like to lend it, or he takes it without permission. He takes it without permission.
John, that's correct. Yeah, he Mr. Coriander steps away to answer the phone. When he does, Bastion runs off.
He runs off and reads it in an attic. God, yeah. I saw that movie 100 times.
Does
as a
not
kid.
buy the book.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, that's John's fucking running away with this one.
Yeah,
that's 2, and they were both things that are like core to my like memories as growing up. So we've hit 2 real good.
Of a page
Give me a Sonic the Hedgehog one.
Oh, dude, Page Master. We saw that in school. We got to go to the movie theater in school because we read enough books, and they showed us Page Master.
Yes.
Page Master's okay.
All right, so we are already at our games question, and this is going to be definitely for all 3 of you, and not as much for me. We're discussing World of Warcraft.
Oh no.
Me and John were literally
worried about this,
Warcraft.
Spanky. He
I do know my lore. I do know my lore
his
for
lore.
Warcraft.
Okay. In the Legion expansion,
Ooh,
heroes face off against the Burning Legion, which is an army of demons and corrupted races formed by Sargeras to destroy the forces of light. Unless you saturate the area with tons of fell energy, killing demons on Azeroth will only put their souls into timeout until their bodies reform. That is Spanky.
Actually, you can't kill a demon for good unless it's within the Twisting Nether.
It's not what's on the card. It's not even close, so I'm just going to say incorrect. We got Matt after this.
Actually, it's not fell damage because that doesn't make any sense. It's like holy damage or some shit.
Well, it just says fell energy.
Yeah, so the lore thing they're referencing there is that you can't kill a demon in Azeroth. You have to do it in their home realm, which would be the Twisting Nether, is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I guess, so I didn't play the Legion
So I
expansion,
guess fell energy would be in the homeworld.
But
So
yeah,
that just
I think
make
that's what they're
demons
referring to
stronger?
it
I
as.
guess what they're saying is if you put enough fell energy into an area and then kill the demon within that area, it's the same as killing them within the Twisting Nether.
Yeah.
And then it creates a cascade effect and kills a whole city of demons.
John was the third to buzz.
Actually, it wasn't Sargeras, it was Gul'dan that brought them all back.
Incorrect. I'm going to reset the buzzers. I'll read this one more time.
There's Gul'dan in that expansion that you fight.
In the Legion expansion, heroes face off against the Burning Legion, which is an army of demons and corrupted races formed by Sargeras to destroy the forces of light. Unless you saturate the area with tons of fell energy, killing demons on Azeroth will only put their souls into timeout until their bodies reform. Anybody?
I didn't play the Legion expansion all the way through.
Okay.
So I don't know the story.
It's got to be a really weird technicality.
It is going to be a really weird technicality. Matt.
Actually, the demons weren't assembled. They're just kind of a horde of demons that does their own thing.
Incorrect. John.
Damn it.
The bodies, almost. Actually, their bodies don't reform. They come back in through a portal or some shit.
Incorrect. Spanky, and this will be the last one.
Yeah.
Actually, I actually don't have one.
Tell us the answer.
So the correction is the Burning Legion was not formed to destroy the forces of light. Sargeras formed it to destroy all world souls, fearing their corruption by void forces.
All right, you're right.
So, because at the end of that, that's whenever Sargeras stabs the planet with a big sword, because he's trying to kill the Titan soul inside of Azeroth. That's
Sorry, he didn't want to kill the forces of light. He wanted to kill everyone. The forces of light just opposed him. Yeah, it's a weird semantics thing. Fucking actually.
All right. So I've got 5 things on this card. This is our first shiny question. Shiny questions, like shiny Pokemon, are worth the same amount of points. They're just a little bit different and a little bit rarer. So this is called I Have the Power. I'm going to give you 5 things. You're just going to tell me which of these items actually give powers to the person who wields them.
Okay.
So if it doesn't, just write N for no. If it does, write Y for yes. Simple.
Yep.
So
is this gonna get like an Iron Man suit doesn't give Tony Stark
Correct.
powers. It's just a really good weapon. Are we going to
It's-
get that level of...
Whereas,
No,
like,
it's-
well, I don't want to
It's
give
honestly
things
going to
that
be
are-
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll see it with this first one. Dumbo's magic feather. Does that give Dumbo power?
I'm just gonna
Never
write all
seen
of mine
Dumbo.
down.
It's got these awesome crow characters that are
Yeah,
totally
this
good.
thing is that like by the time I was like looking up Disney movies, like you probably don't want to watch
It
this
also
one.
totally has this awesome segment where Dumbo gets drunk, and there's this
Yep.
weird animation that totally isn't.
I've seen
terrifying.
that. I've seen
To a
that.
There's
six-year-old.
also a totally not terrible Tim Burton live action remake. That's
Oh
also
my god,
horrible.
I forgot about that.
Matt, did you want to put in yours? I don't.
I'm gonna write all of mine in at
Okay.
the end.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. So yes, if it gives power, and if it doesn't give power.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Green Lantern's power ring.
Ryan Reynolds.
All right. The third one.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Great. Michael's secret stuff from Space Jam. Michael's secret stuff from
I
Space
do remember
Jam.
that one.
All right. Number 4 is the gem of Sitorak from X-Men. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Gem of Sitorak from X-Men.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah. And the last one, Sacred Water from Dragon Ball.
Oh man, I'm ruined if I get that one wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna give Matt a minute to actually.
I've
type them
entered.
all
I
in.
don't think I can get that any better.
Yeah, I'm guessing on basically all of them.
Okay.
First couple, and then after that, I completely lost it.
Matt's doing it on a phone, so it's taking some time, but it doesn't have to be perfect, Matt.
Matt's writing
fine.
out all of the words.
Every word that TJ said.
Yeah, we got it. We can't have dead air because the
Yep, we can't have dead
FCC
air.
will violate
Yep,
us. So let's just
that's
talk
true.
over this.
Matt, leave it. It's fine. Okay.
The FCC will violate us.
All right. First
the
one.
FCC will not let us be.
Dumbo's magic feather was actually a pile of bullshit. It did not give him powers, so John's the only one who got that one wrong.
I-
I put no.
I
I
I
put no.
I
Yeah,
wanted
so John's
to,
the only one who got it
I
wrong.
wanted to put no
Oh.
because I was like, obviously it wasn't because he learned that it was just him the whole time, but it
Yep.
like he thought it did. I don't know. Anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right. Green Lantern's power ring. Yes, obviously it does give him the power.
Yeah.
That's
It's
Right.
right there in the name.
is right there in the name. Michael's secret stuff from Space Jam was also a pile of bullshit. Everyone got
Correct.
it.
just
Yeah,
water,
that was
guys.
the Dumbo
That's water.
situation.
That is
Yeah, that
exactly
was
the Dumbo.
water. Yeah.
That's
All right.
also literally what like smart water and vitamin water and all.
Mhm.
All right.
What's the pH balanced one?
Oh yeah, there's
There-
like an alkaline.
There's
water.
alkaline.
The
Yeah,
alkaline. There was an interview with someone who's like, I like to have alkaline water with a spritz of lemon juice in the
Yeah.
morning. It's like, oh, so you've just ruined
Yep,
the alkalinity of it.
exactly.
That's what you've done.
It's just regular water. But to be fair, it's less acidic lemon water.
yeah.
So whatever.
The Gem of Sitorak from X-Men, which I have no clue what that is, but if I had
Me
to
neither.
bullshit that, it's probably what Juggernaut uses. And yes, it apparently does give someone power.
Cool.
So,
I don't know much
I
about
put
X-Men.
no. So
Yep, that's right now 4-4 and 4 to 2 with John kind of dragging behind.
wow.
All right.
I'm fucked.
And the last thing, the Sacred Water from Dragon Ball is a pile of bunk. Spanky got the clean sweep on that one.
Wow.
Yeah, Matt just missed that
They
last
were
one.
all guesses. I
The
literally
last
did.
two
I
were
forget what the
complete
DBZ
guesses.
Sacred Water is even referring to. Or
I don't
not
know, but I'm
DBZ, it's
guessing-
DB.
I'm guessing it's DB, yeah, and it's been a
So
while.
I don't
so much
remember
DB.
exactly what it is, but I feel like it was the thing that Master Korin told Goku would like help him train, and it was just water. I don't remember. I feel like there was something about sacred water, but I feel like it was a Master Korin thing or something like that.
Something, I don't know.
So it
I'm
is
curious
not.
and want to look it up.
Sorry, I've looked it up, and I think the reason why I'm confused is that it is not bullshit in the fact that it just does not give you powers. It cures you of an ailment.
Yeah, so it's
of
just
That's
not
right.
brainwashing.
Yeah, fair.
So you're not getting a power. I guess it gives you the power to not be brainwashed anymore, but that would be being
Okay.
pedantic. It is a curative agent.
It's a
power.
curative.
I was right though. It was Master Korin is who has it.
Yeah, it just says give power to those who wielded them. So
Yeah, correct. It
it
does
was the
not.
question,
You,
yeah.
It's not wielded.
all right, so we are back to our regularly
Did you know that
scheduled.
Juggernaut's Charles Xavier's stepbrother?
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
I did not know.
All right, so our anime question, which for all of these, it's just all a pile of bullshit. Let's just see what we get. But we're doing JoJo. That's JoJo's Bizarre
Oh,
Adventure.
I've seen 4 episodes of that.
I've
Never
seen
seen
about
it.
5.
I know
Actually,
Zowaru though.
I've seen the very first arc all the way through, and that's it.
I've seen the first arc and I think one other episode.
I've seen the YouTube video Zowaru though, and that's it.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure follows Jotaro Kujo, or JoJo, as he battles against the vampire Dio. Jotaro and Dio are both stand users, meaning they can summon powerful spirits to fight for them. Although stands have a wide variety of powers, Jotaro and Dio's stands both have the ability to stop time. All right, that is John buzzing in.
I'm just gonna say actually it's like Joseph Joestar is his name, I thought, and not Jotaro. But that might be a later series because it's a weird anthology series where there's big time jumps.
John, I'm gonna give this one to you.
Okay.
Because the correction is just, the anime doesn't just follow Jotaro and Dio. Each part follows a different character whose nickname is JoJo.
Okay, that's it.
And
That's
you're
what
right,
I'm
Joseph
thinking
Joestar was the first one, I
Yeah.
think.
of.
Right?
Okay.
I don't know who
I was
Jotaro
about to say, it
Kujo
isn't
is.
just those two. It is
Yeah.
every JoJo throughout like all of these different ages fighting Dio.
But it's always Dio. Dio again.
Yes.
Dio boyfriend. Dio baby.
I'll tell you, nobody else was going to
Dio
even get close to getting that one right, and I
No.
barely was close enough. So
Dio,
we'll
but he's a
end it there.
dinosaur.
I should watch that series because it is stupid and ridiculous, but also
And I like stupid
fun.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes, because it is all straight up that Dragon Ball Z, like, I got this power that does this, or like the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, like,
I
just
mean,
one-upping each other every time.
so far early on, it's just like the magic breathing and blood magic.
Mhm.
So we haven't gotten into stands yet.
No. Not in the first series, no.
At least not in the start of the second series, but I haven't gotten very far.
There's probably a tournament arc at some point.
All right, our 80s and 90s question today is about Dig Dug.
I've dug that dig.
I
I've
have
played that
Dig
game.
Dug before.
Yeah. In this classic arcade game, Dig Dug drills underground to exterminate goggle-wearing red balls called Matt.
Actually, he digs. He doesn't drill.
Did we have this question before?
No,
That's
but
the
it's called
correct.
dig.
Yeah.
It's called Dig Dug.
Well-
just put 2 and 2 together.
So yeah, the correct correction is he doesn't use his drill to fight the monsters. Which actually he does drill underground,
Yes.
but
So I'm.
yeah, he doesn't use his drill to fight the monsters.
No.
What does? I'm not gonna give a bonus point, but what does he use?
He
Fight
uses
the monsters.
bubbles
Like a
or some
bicycle
shit.
pump?
He uses
Yeah.
the
Uses
pump.
He uses a bike pump. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry,
Those amount-
he
Okay,
doesn't
now
use
I
bubbles.
feel better about taking
He
that
uses
one.
a bicycle pump to burst the little guys like bubbles.
Yep.
That's
Yes.
it. I played
Yeah.
so much of that fucking game on the Atari 2600. I had the Dig Dug version on that.
Dig Dug rules.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a fun game.
It's one of my favorite
And you
arcade.
trap
I
you
think
can trap the monsters by like making the fucking roof cave in on them and stuff.
Oh yeah, the rocks. If you could
Yep.
just go like
Yep. It was a fun
slightly
game.
clear the way for it, or
It was like a Pac-Man where you're being chased, but you had like an open. You could make your own maze, basically. Anyway, they're really
Yeah.
fun game.
it's a sandbox Pac-Man. Oh,
It is-
sandbox. There we go.
Quite literally. Yeah.
Quite literally a sandbox.
I mean, Namco is who made Dig Dug, and they did it specifically so that you could make your own maze. It was basically a Pac-Man, but the idea is without a set maze, you can make your own little path.
All right. So we're about halfway through. Right now, the score is
Puckman.
3 for John, 1 for Matt, 1 for Spanky. So still anyone's game. And we're now on our sci-fi question. We're talking about the classic T2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
I've seen that one.
Skynet, an artificially intelligent network developed by Cyberdyne Systems, betrayed humanity in an event known as Judgment Day. Once Skynet was granted control of the defense grid, it launched a massive nuclear attack on the United States, then started building Terminators and Hunter Killers to eliminate any remaining resistance.
Oh boy.
I'll go ahead and read that one
The
more
gist
time.
of that sounded right to
Yeah.
me, so there must be
Yeah.
some
Mhm.
detail in that is
Yeah.
slightly wrong.
Skynet, an artificially intelligent network developed by Cyberdyne Systems, betrayed humanity in an event known as Judgment Day. We got John.
Actually, it wasn't developed by Cyberdyne Systems. It was developed by someone else, and Cyberdyne like took it over.
Incorrect, or at least it's not on the card that way.
Fair enough. I'm just grasping at straws here.
No, I get you. Once Skynet was granted control of the defense grid, it launched a massive nuclear attack on the United States, then started building Terminators and Hunter Killers to eliminate any remaining resistance. John, one
I'll
more.
go
Once
last after everybody gets a chance.
more. No one else
Because
has buzzed in yet.
I think I figured it out.
Yeah, go for
Matt's
it.
Go ahead.
Actually, when it got control of the defense grid, it launched nukes at Russia, who launched nukes back at us.
That is correct.
Yeah, it was it. I remember now. It started on the nuclear holocaust.
Yep.
Because it was like, oh, the right
These
thing to
are
do
all really bad ones.
is the right thing to do is to first strike that one's really pedantic because
Because it's like, oh, Skynet didn't do a nuclear holocaust. Skynet started the thing that started the nuclear holocaust. Actually,
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, it's
you're
really
saying
stupid.
It's actually
I did
isn't
say
that
Skynet-
stupid. Launched
I said
the nukes
Skynet
at,
launched at America,
No,
at the United States,
Skynet
but they didn't.
made the calculation that first strike against the Russians was the correct thing to do, and that started the nuclear holocaust.
Yep. All right, we have our second shiny question this time, and we're going to be doing two of a kind. We've done something like this before. I'm going to give you the names of two Disney characters.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be four of these pairs in total, and you need to tell me what type of animal that they both are.
Ooh.
So I'll give you a pair. I'm only going to give you the names, not the properties. I'll give those at the end.
There's gonna be some of them sexy aristocrats cats.
Oh, probably.
Those just look like cats.
This is what furries have been saying.
Fair enough.
This is what furries have been saying. All right.
I'm on Mastodon, all right.
You got to be down with the furries if you're on Mastodon.
That is fair. All right. Our first pair are Copper and Pongo. What animals are those? Copper and Pongo.
I know that one because of Kingdom Hearts.
That's fair. All right. Our second pair, Thumper and Judy.
I know that one because of the furries.
Thumper is
That's fair.
is the thing that they used to summon the sandworm in the
Yeah.
in the Disney version of Dune.
it's a worm. You just gave it away. They're worms.
Oh, sorry, shit.
Yeah. Thumper is probably my favorite controller using VR game.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah.
I've
Game's
never played
sick.
it, heard it though.
Yeah. All right. Archimedes and Big Mama. Who are Archimedes and Big Mama?
Oh no. Oh, I haven't seen that movie that Archimedes is from in a long time.
All right. And the last one are Elliot and Mushu. What animals are Elliot and Mushu?
God, now I'm questioning this because we have like half of the Chinese zodiac
I don't know
on my
where
thing here.
Elliot is from in that.
All right. Everyone's locked in?
Archimedes! God,
All right.
no, that's gonna kill me.
I am going to go through this super fast, and then let you guys know who did what. All right, Copper from Fox and the Hound, Pongo from 101 Dalmatians are both dogs. Thumper from Bambi, Judy from Zootopia are both rabbits.
Rabbit, yeah.
Archimedes from Sword in the Stone and Big Mama from Fox and the Hound are owls.
Yes.
Elliot from Peach Dragon and Mushu from Mulan are both dragons. All
Everyone
three
got
of
it
you
right.
swept.
That was
Yeah.
completely
Right.
pointless
Oh,
question.
so it was all meaningless. Great.
Yay.
I didn't actually. I just read the category and kind
Sword
of
in
how
the
it was.
Stone. I gotta watch that
Yeah.
again. I haven't seen that
It's-
in so long.
Kind of bad.
I liked it when I was a kid, though.
Yeah, I liked the Black Cauldron when I was a kid. We were stupid.
I never saw the
Kids
Black
in general
Cauldron.
are kind
Don't. It's not good. It's very boring. It's not even like the bad. It's good kind of bad. It's just boring. and
Actually,
not
guys,
animated
I've
well.
got this Song of the South VHS tape that
Oh
I
my
found.
God.
I'm gonna post to my Facebook group about it, and then people will say people are too woke now.
What's
Yep.
great is nobody that's hearing this has any of the context from the Discord.
Just come to
I'm
our
giving them the
Discord.
context now that I think that is
DISSCHORD.com.
ridiculous that people are talking about that movie. I think it's ridiculous too because fucking Disney did a racism and now they're like trying to pretend that they never did that. So
Yeah.
They've done it several times.
yeah, well, just here's one time, and now they're also bring back the mountain, Splash Mountain. They're ruining the world because they're getting rid
Oh.
of the references to Song in the South and.
Yeah,
Well,
but Prince of
Trader
the Frog was great.
Trader something, the shrunken head dealer, they
Yeah.
got rid of.
Look. Oh yeah, Trader. Oh, Trader Jack or something. Anyway, let's not talk about Disney's racist past. Let's talk about their currently
Let's talk about
racist
their
present.
other problematic past, where they had
Yeah,
to keep
exactly.
redesigning the Pirates of the Caribbean ride because, there was pirate stuff going on in there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Our questions submitted by the College Humor community is about Skyrim today.
Ooh, fuck you!
Boo,
Go fuck
you,
yourself,
Lee.
College Humor community.
All right. Our Skyrim question is:
Fucking Skyrim. I took an arrow.
I've
to
got the
knee.
map of it right here above me.
Yeah. Once mortals learn to wield the voice, or Thuum, they turn the tide of war against the dragon Alduin and those loyal to him. Is it Alduin? Okay.
Alderaan.
Alduin, got it.
No, I'll do in.
After the war, Alduin's brother Parthenax was hunted down and forced to hide on the tallest peak in Skyrim. By the time the Dragonborn meets him there, he becomes leader of the Greybeards. I got John buzzing in.
Actually, the hero or whatever you're going to call yourself does not become leader of the Greybeards. He becomes.
It's saying Parthenax becomes the leader of the Greybeards.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll read it one more
I
time.
misheard the question then.
That's fine.
I was like,
once
because you definitely do not become leader of the Greybeards.
Yeah. Once mortals learn to wield the voice, or Thuum, they turn the tide of war against the dragon Alduin and those loyal to him. After the war, Alduin's brother Parthenax was hunted down and forced to hide on the tallest peak in Skyrim. By the time the Dragonborn meets him there, he's become the leader of the Greybeards. That is Spabanky.
Actually, Parthenax was never hunted. He just went into hiding while they killed the rest of his brethren.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. Spanky, that's yours. Yeah, so Parthenax was not forced to hide.
Yeah.
He chose to seclude himself in the hopes of resisting his innate draconic hunger for power and conquest.
Got it.
Yeah, he was also voiced by Charles Martinet, the guy who voices
Mhm.
Mario.
He was like, wahoo!
Yeah,
Mario time.
he had a very
Dragon
low
time.
and growl. Like it wasn't a woohoo, I'm a dragon. It was a very I'm Parthenax.
No,
kind
he
of
was
voice.
what's Chris Pratt's Mario voice? I'm from
It's me, Mario.
Mario.
Wahoo!
Woohoo, it's me, Mario.
Wahoo!
Let's-a go.
That movie
All right.
made so much money.
It was fine, is the thing.
It was a fine
What-
movie.
it wasn't
amazing.
It wasn't
Great.
worth seeing, but if you've got kids who like Mario, it was a great film to take them to.
Yeah.
Kids even know who Mario is? Does Mario do Fortnite dances?
Probably does.
Mario is on the Switch, which kids go apeshit for, so I assume so.
I just rewatched the Scrubs clip. That is the Fortnite default dance.
Oh yeah, with Donald
yeah.
Faison doing it.
Yes.
It's the Carlton. Right? It's the Carlton from Fresh Prince, right?
Oh, that's
No.
a dance.
That
you
is
had to pay
another
for.
dance.
Oh,
but no,
okay. Got it.
the
got it.
default dance is just. I think it was it Perry was watching, or was it the janitor? Someone was watching a video of like.
It was they were
Ted?
doing auditions for something, and he was what's his name was dancing to the song Poison by Live
Christopher
Crew?
Turkleton.
Or-
Todd.
Yeah.
The Todd, right? The
That
surgeon?
girl is poison. Yeah.
Oh, Belle Biv DeVoe. Yeah.
Belle Biv
Poison.
DeVoe. That's it. It's not Tony.
Oh, I've got
'cause
a. Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
we're
I
going
have to.
back.
I still have to make a road trip mix. So it's got to be Mountain Dew themed though.
Oh yeah.
So there'll be lots of Limp Bizkit and
The Halo soundtrack because
Gamer Fuel.
the lyrics.
All right. Our horror question today is about. It's kind of pseudo horror because we're talking Shaun of the Dead.
I've seen that.
I've seen that.
Shaun experiences his share of trauma during the zombie apocalypse. He watches his best friend Ed get savagely bitten by zombies. He's forced to kill his roommate, his mom, and his stepdad after they reanimate, and he has to set fire to his favorite bar, the Winchester, to keep zombies at bay. But at least he gets back together with Liz. I'll read that one more time. Shaun experiences his share of trauma during the zombie apocalypse. He watches his best friend Ed get savagely bitten by zombies. He's forced to kill his roommate, his mom, and his stepdad after they reanimate. That is John buzzing in.
Actually, he doesn't watch his best friend get savagely bitten by zombies, that happens off screen. He doesn't witness it.
It's not on here. I haven't watched Shaun of the Dead, so I can't.
I just a
that.
shot in the dark there. I don't. I haven't seen this in like a decade.
Oh, we got Spanky buzzed in.
Actually, he doesn't kill his roommate. Ed kills his roommate.
At least on the card, it's not there, so I'll call it incorrect.
Because it's the roommate who's a bastard who yells at them. I thought Ed was the one who shot him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guess it was Sean.
All right. So, important part for this one, I'll just reread that. He watches his best friend Ed get savagely bitten by zombies. He's forced to kill his roommate, his mom, and his stepdad after they reanimate. All right, Spanky, this will be your last buzz on this one.
Actually, he doesn't kill his stepdad.
That is correct. Sean and the others just lock him inside his car and run away.
That's right. That's right. Because he turns while they're driving away.
Yeah. So for all we know, stepdad's still hanging out in there.
That was my guess. Because I'm like, I don't remember them shooting the step. I remember because Sean shooting his mom is like the emotional climax of the film.
Yeah, because she's a zombie.
Because she's in like they're in the Winchester and she's turned and she's at the booth and it's very sad, and Simon Pegg does a great job in that film.
That movie's very good. That was like the loudest I've ever laughed in a theater. Was that movie?
Rodrigo.
I hear him screaming.
Yes, I know. All right. Our cartoons question is about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but if I read the first line of this and you guys remember this question, we'll do the one on the back. I don't remember if we've done this one on the podcast, so we'll see.
Finger at buzzer.
All right. Team Avatar. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll just stop there. That's the whole thing. Team Avatar goes to watch a play that recounts the story of the show right up to the day of Black Sun. While the main story beats are correct, the play is riddled with inaccuracies. For example, Zuko's scar is on the wrong side, and Toph, who is a blind girl, is portrayed as a large burly man who sees by yelling. All right, that is Spanky.
Yeah, I don't think we had this one before, so.
Okay.
Actually, Toph's the actor portraying Toph doesn't see by yelling.
That is incorrect. That was definitely a big part of the play. I remember the play.
Well,
it's such a good episode.
The idea of the parody was that like she can see by making noise and feeling it through her feet, and so they're like, "Oh, she sees by yelling."
I'm just trying to think because like nothing in that sounded right. It's gonna be another like actually they
All
didn't
right.
go.
Yeah,
to see
that's
it,
how it actually works. All right, go through it again.
It's gonna be all right. Team Avatar goes to watch a play that recounts the story of the show right up to the day of Black Sun. While the main story beats are correct, the play is riddled with inaccuracies. For example, Zuko's scar is on the wrong side. That is John.
Actually, I'm going to say the main story beats were not correct. They were meant to be a
the main
joke.
story beats are correct. It just has a bunch of little nitpicks.
I thought they were like. So my remembrance of this was that the main story beats were not correct because they were saying the opposite of what actually happened, or they were the bad guys actually, but. Maybe
I mean, they had UA become the moon. They had
that is one of the best episodes in the entire series.
It is the best clip show because it's not a clip show.
Yes,
it's the best recap episode ever made in any thing.
Yes. All right, go ahead.
All right, I'll read it just one last time.
My girlfriend became the moon. How are you doing?
That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. I love that show.
Team Avatar goes to watch a play that recounts the story of the show right up to the day of Black Sun. While the main story beats are correct, the play is riddled with inaccuracies. For example, Zuko's scar is on the wrong side, and Toph, who is a blind girl, is portrayed by John has buzzed in.
I'm going to say actually Zuko's scar was on the right side because he is a Fire Nation person. They would have known that.
No, because
he bitches about that. He whines about it in the hallway.
Yeah, one of the cosplayers.
How would they get that wrong? He's their person.
One of the cosplayers is like, "Oh yeah, your Zuko costume is pretty cool, but you got the scar on the wrong side." No, this is the right one.
Yeah,
it was.
I remember that.
Matt is now just buzzed in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, it wasn't up to the day of Black Sun. It was some other point.
I'm giving
just a
that to
wild
Matt.
shot
That
I'm
was
taking
going to
on
be
Josh.
my cop-out
Yes.
answer.
The play does not stop at the Day of Black Sun. The play goes on to predict the show's finale,
Yeah.
but with the Fire Lord victorious.
Yeah.
That's the part you're talking about them being incorrect, but that's only because it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was technically correct in the fact that the
But I'm
events were
more
not
correct.
Yeah, more correct.
I'm the
is
kinda
less kinda
correct that
I
got a
guess Matt
point.
was the most correct.
All right. All right. Let me reset the buzzers. We are now on to our last shiny question, and this is a category called "What's My Line." I'm going to give you 4 quotes. I'll even tell you who said it and what movie they are from. And I want you to finish the quote for me.
Okay.
You said there's 4 of them.
There's 4 of them, and I say finish the quote, but one of them's in the middle. You just have to fill in the blanks for
Yep.
me.
Yeah. Fill in the blanks in these quotes. Got it.
Yep. All right. All right. In the movie The Dark Knight, the Joker says, "What doesn't kill you makes you blank." What doesn't kill you makes you blank.
I have no fucking clue, man. Makes
Do
you
you
go
put the whole
potty.
thing or just the missing
No,
part?
just the missing part. Just fill in the blank, because other's it's.
I know
you're
this
gonna
from
run out of
those-
characters.
Fucking cursed gamer Joker memes.
I unfortunately am not Joker meme knowledgeable.
I'm going
and
to
the-
become the Joker.
And as a heads up, the category, these are all superhero films.
Oh,
So-
great. So I'm
Oh,
nice.
good.
Now,
So
this is
good.
one I've not seen. You guys need to tell me if I need to see this, because in the movie Watchmen, worth watching?
It is
too
definitely
long.
worth watching, but
It's
it
worth
is-
watching, but it is too long.
Okay. Rorschach says, "This city is afraid of me. The city is afraid of me, for I have seen its blank blank." So 2 words missing there. "This city is afraid of me, for I have seen its blank blank."
Oh
2
man,
words.
I don't remember any of this shit. I'm going to make my controversial yet brave statement of saying that the movie is technically better
I'm
than
not
the
confident
comics.
about mine at all.
Okay. All right. In Avengers Endgame, Scott Lang's quips.
That's Ant-Man.
That is Ant-Man.
How do I know
I
that?
think- "I think you look great, Cap. As far as I'm concerned, that's blank blank."
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that one should be easy. That's like probably the best laugh of the whole movie, honestly.
Yes. No, the best laugh is the reprise later.
That true.
Yes. All right, and the last one is probably the one even more than
I
Watchmen.
think I'm going to
wouldn't
get 0 of these right.
even though I have seen this movie, I wouldn't have gotten this. In Iron Man 2, Whiplash once says,
The worst fucking movie.
"Yeah, I know."
No, that one rules because it
No,
has the cool
Iron
suit
Man
up
3 is
scene.
bad.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 is really good because it's about depression.
If you could make God blank, people would cease to believe in him.
I'm putting in a joke answer because
Yes,
I
I
don't
see
know.
that.
Can I
John.
get can I get a quick rundown of
Yeah, can
Yep.
you just restate
I'll just go
the
through
all
entire
of them.
question
Yes.
again?
I don't know if I think mine is coming from a God of War quote, but we'll see.
Okay. Joker in the Dark Knight, "What doesn't kill you makes you blank." Rorschach says, "The city's afraid of me, for I have seen its blank blank." Scott Lang in Avengers Endgame is, "I think you look great, Cap. As far as I'm concerned, that's blank blank." And then Whiplash and Iron Man 2, "If you could make God blank, people would cease to believe in him."
Oh shit, Scott Lang said no homo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. So, John, let's just say that you are correct in your assessment of your things, including the thing you put in parentheses.
Oh. Am I
All
actually
right.
can I say my joke ones though so we can go through these?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
So,
right. You-
Joker says, "What doesn't kill you makes you
Laugh.
a stranger." So,
Stranger.
Okay.
Rorschach says, "The city's afraid of me, for I have seen its
Rotten core or some shit.
true
like-
face."
True
Okay, I
face.
got that one because he wears the mask, the
Two-Face.
obscured face. Yeah.
Scott Lang says, "I think you look great, Cap. As far as I'm concerned, that's John,
Booty juice.
booty juice. That's America's ass."
America's ass.
I knew it
yeah.
had something to do with
Yeah.
his ass, but I couldn't
Yeah.
remember.
And then Whiplash says, "If you could make God
Fart.
bleed, people would cease to
Okay.
believe in him." Which means Spanky took the whole thing. Matt got the last 2. And then we
I
all
got
heard
none
Very
of
wrong
those.
about that, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
people really loved Iron Man for a long time after that.
That is true. All right, so Spanky with the sweep on that. Going into the final question,
Are we tied?
the scores are Matt with 3, John and Spanky with 5.
Oh, God damn
Oh,
it.
shit.
And our last question, as always,
You said
Sonic
I
the Hedgehog.
was blown away with this one, but...
concerns real life
Oh,
skills.
Futurama. Oh, dang.
So, Futurama, exactly.
This is all the things Spanky knows. Fucking
All right.
Futurama and Sonic the Hedgehog.
We are doing text entry again. I'm just going to tell you some facts about microwaves. You have to tell me if they are true or
Oh,
false.
God.
Just
This
write
is
T
this
for
is a-
true, F for false.
You mean
There are
the
4
science
facts.
oven?
Yeah, the science oven. All
You're
right,
gonna ask them as a group or each individual one.
I'm just going to go each individual one.
Okay.
So,
TF, TF. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, TF. There's only 4. Just put them in a row. You don't
Got
have
it.
to go vertically. I can read it. All right. Microwaving plastic wrap puts harmful chemicals into food. True or false? Microwaves work by cooking food from the inside out. True or false? Microwave radiation can give you cancer if you're exposed to it. True or false?
Microwaves work by making the bowl extremely hot and nothing else, by the way.
Yeah.
Depends
No, what
on
it
your
makes
bowl.
is the Hot Pocket
Yeah.
cold, but rocket hot on the...
Beep, beep, beep. Your hot ass bowl of cold ass food is ready, motherfucker.
All right, and our last one. Microwaving food retains more nutrients than boiling.
Do we have a,
Just waiting for the
do we
last
have
one
a
to get in there,
definitive
sorry.
winner here?
So, like,
I guess we're going to find out. Do we
So-
tie?
I'm just waiting for your last one, Matt.
Yeah, well,
um,
Matt's,
I'm
Matt's
confused
not
by the
voting.
last question.
Okay. Microwaving food retains more nutrients than boiling. the
So,
food.
like, microwave steamed vegetables versus boiled vegetables, basically.
If I took the same vegetables and I microwaved them versus boiled them, microwaving food retains more nutrients than boiling. Okay. I fucking hate this.
We tied.
Because- Yes, because all of you got one wrong.
Oh.
All of you
damn
got, but it's not the same one.
Oh, wow.
Each of you got a different one
Oh,
wrong.
all right. Go ahead.
John's wrong on the first one. Microwaving plastic wrap does not put harmful chemicals into
So
food.
I only put that because I assumed the person
Yep.
that wrote this was probably going off of not real science because
The little thing here says almost all wraps are microwave safe, but check the label to be sure.
yeah. So
as always.
some wraps wouldn't be. But I
All
just
right.
assume because everyone wants to hate on doing stuff.
The second one, all of you got right. Microwaves work by cooking food from the inside out. That is false.
No.
They cook
And
from the
also doesn't
outside.
make any
They
fucking
they
sense.
cook from
Yeah.
the all water molecules.
They cook.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
cook. They cook from the outside in to a depth of about 1 to 1.5 inches.
Yes.
Don't put a thick steak in the microwave.
Correct.
It's not going to
It
cook
will
right.
take forever, and the outside
Yes.
will be burnt while the inside will be cold.
Exactly.
That's how every hot pocket is.
Yep.
Yep.
Microwave radiation can give you cancer if you're exposed to it. That is false.
Correct.
Microwaves use non-ionizing radiation.
Correct.
The worst it could do is give you burns.
Yes, it can.
Oh.
Which
Scald you.
Spanky got that one wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I assumed any radiation could give you cancer.
then-
I'm sure it can, but
And
I
then
don't
Matt-
think
But
it
the
can.
thing
Not
is, this
strong
game is
enough, right?
actually.
You're
so I
right. You're
assume-
totally right. That's why I
Yep.
did the plastic wrap one because I thought,
the-
oh, there's some technicality.
And then Matt, with a series of falses, only gets the last one wrong. A boiling can cause certain foods to leach out nutrients
Yes,
into
it's
the water.
because the water
So,
will.
yeah.
That's
Well-
why when you boil
Yeah,
vegetables,
so
the
I
water
thought
will be
of that,
colored.
but then
Yeah.
I
But-
was like double thinking, like
Yeah.
maybe it's accounted for that. or-
If
So,
you
yeah.
drank the water, I think it would about even out though.
Yeah,
You're
you want to
not
drink
gonna
that
do
water.
that. You gotta
Who
drink the water.
boils
That's being water.
vegetables? What?
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you could boil like Brussels sprouts or something.
Well, I
if you're
guess
gonna-
I boil green
roast
beans
those. Those
to-
those are
to
better.
eat
Cut them
them.
half, roast.
Oh
them,
no,
cool
they
as well.
are. I'm just saying there are veggies.
Yeah.
But that's
that-
blanching. That's not boiling. You just blanch
Yeah,
them
true.
to start them,
Yeah.
and then you finish them some other way.
Yeah.
All right. We have co-winners today because actually does not tie break. At least not on the show, unless we want a tie break.
No, I don't want to.
Yes,
Set up
but
an
it
hour.
has to be a Sonic the Hedgehog or a Futurama.
Yes, it has to be a
Of
Dragon Ball
course.
Z question.
Oh, I'll do a Dragon Ball Z one.
Oh,
I've
Neon
not-
Genesis Evangelion lore question.
I mean, I've seen that too.
Yeah, but have
You're
you seen
picking
it?
like the two
Have you
animes I
se-
bothered
Have
to
you
watch.
seen it 20 or 30 times?
No. Ask me one specifically about the Netflix dub of
Ooh,
Neon
with,
Genesis
with the
Evangelion.
inaccuracies,
Yeah.
or the,
Alright,
the
with less gay in
slightly
it.
more accuracies.
At this point, are we going to do one on the Hulu's Futurama now that that's out?
No.
I haven't started watching that.
I haven't watched it either.
Oh, I haven't either. I did see an article though where someone talked about their favorite top 10 Futurama episodes, and they're all from the first 4 seasons. I was like, that's harsh,
Yeah.
because there's
You know-
so much more than that exists.
I'm not digging in the box, and all the questions on the back are kind of like,
No, we're not
Pile of
doing.
bullshit.
We're
We're not
going
doing-
with the
yeah.
tie.
Yeah.
yeah, we're leaving the tie. 6 to
Unless
4 to
there's a
6.
Sonic the Hedgehog one laying
No,
around.
God
No.
damn it.
No, we're good. 6 to 4 to 6, and now that I have a history, I've got 2 weeks worth.
But
I can
now,
listen to
now we
old
can keep a
episodes and find
running
out.
score though. What's the
Yeah.
overall total score?
So right now, it is co-winners both get a score point. So
Oh.
it is John with 1 and Spanky with 2. In 2 weeks worth of counting. Or you want total score added together?
Yeah.
Points. Okay.
Because
Um,
sometimes people get crushed.
Fair. Spanky with 13, John with 10, Matt with 7.
Well, we're not really just 3 apart between all of us.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, we still have another week to go before our trip, so if I get another one curated, we can go ahead and go
Sure.
with this. Matt, are we going to plug you in on our podcast while we're down there?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
The podcast while we're down there
sure.
may just be me recording it on my phone or something, because the audio
Yeah.
will be fine enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or I might just buy one of those recorder things. What are they? Those like things you
Oh,
set
the Zoom recorder.
the interview
PCM.
microphones.
Was
You
it linear PCM recorders or whatever?
No,
You
it's
said
like a Zoom mic that people use for like
Yeah.
interviewing people. You just
The
set
I mean,
it
I've
up.
also
around,
got
bro.
a Blue Yeti I can just set to omnidirectional mode.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
one as well. So I mean,
That'll be fine.
yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about the audio quality. Clearly, have you listened to the show?
Story of the podcast.
Shit.
Save
This-
my Excel, so
Oh,
This
man.
brought to you
Spanky,
by
we're gonna have to invite you to come up or something some other time, and because remember, Matt, when we went to that spooky house,
Yes.
we need to do like the Beast of Bray Road or some other like haunted place.
yeah.
I have a
when we were talking
line-
about haunted houses, I was really jonesing.
I have
for
a
that earlier.
line at like a haunted place that we might be able to get to. So, I don't know if you've heard of the Milton House in Milton, Wisconsin.
I think I've heard of it from you.
That is a
before, but I
stop.
don't
It was a
remember
stop
anything.
on the Underground Railroad, and it was like a hotel from like way back when, like a long time ago. Obviously, Civil War times, pre-Civil War. But many people that have worked there have said that it's haunted, and I know the person who runs that building. So maybe there's a possibility for us to be able to record and walk around in it after hours some night and get a tour from the like historical society person. So that might be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to come. The only thing that sucks about me going to Wisconsin is I will have to make the whole trip by myself, and there won't be a road trip aspect of it.
Yeah.
And there is no easy way to like get a train or a bus or a plane to where you live, because I would always have to get layovers.
Well, you could
if
fly
I were
to
fly.
Chicago.
You come to me and I'll drive you the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I could do that. I mean, yeah, Chicago's also. I think we might have it. Well, no, I think there's a direct in Kansas City.
I think
Kansas
the
City's
next
not very far
I
to
think the
fly.
next Born in the 80s trip visit thing will be to Chicago, because that is where Adam lives and TJ
Yeah.
lives. And also going to
Yeah.
Chicago is fun because there's stuff to do there.
Yeah, yeah, that would be the best one. Have
We
the
can
most
stay
people,
at a hotel near where Adam lives or something, and we
Yeah,
can
have
go.
the most people, and also go to a place that isn't fucking Branson, Missouri.
Yeah.
Hey, that Bass Pro Shop aquarium looks pretty cool.
It does look cool.
I like aquariums. Is there Jesus in the aquarium though?
Yes.
Here's all
There's
the fish.
one thing that
lived
you'll
during the
understand
flood.
about going to anywhere where I live is that there is Jesus in it.
That's true. Well, I know this because I go to Iowa all the time, and it's turned into that. So,
The Missouri spread up to Iowa.
Oh, jeez.
No. That's one of my favorite things was the jump scare of Jesus at Pizza Ranch. If you've ever been at Pizza Ranch, and you look at like the placard, and they're like, "We built the Pizza Ranch to serve Jesus," and it's like, what? The pizza buffet restaurant is like Jesus-y? Like what? Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
The
All
thing
right.
that sucks is we only have like one Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Well, you can find me on Mastodon at John_Danger at Toot.cafe. Well, I'm just saying all this trip planning shit should happen off the podcast. We gotta end it.
Fair enough.
Twitch.tv/May of May. I might do something. Just
I gotta
trying to
print
Uber
out
right now.
checklists of all the do's. So
Fridays, I'm streaming Xenoblade Chronicles, twitch.tv/SpankyWorks, and I am, of course, at SpankyWorks at stctp.zone.
Yeah,
Or
I really
Spanky
want
Dot
to
You
watch
can
it.
find me on
Or
my
Spanky
couch
Dot Works.
watching YouTube.
Bye, everyone.
I see a cat.
Bye. MattHagMusic.com.